Welcome everybody to the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast. I'm Eric.
Mr. I will walk off your stream and make a sandwich.
Woo,
and
woo!
I'm Lord Manny. Hey, hey!
Ho ho! May walk off and get some bagels and lox for the show.
And we're joined by the illustrious, squatter of the Twitter account, Ryan, aka the Boo Boo Bear.
Squatter.
I called him a squatter. Why not call him a squatter?
I want my Twitter feed back.
I want my money for it. When I get my money, y'all will get your Twitter back.
Well, you see, that's how you know he's a squatter. Look, he's trying to hold stuff hostage just to be able to get things going. First of all,
let's get... sounds like? Do you know who he sounds like?
Who?
The people accusing Velveteen Dream.
That is also true.
Can I tell you something? You know what my favorite thing about this is? And I don't know if it picks up on the regular stream, is whenever Ryan takes a sip of his Kool-Aid, as he call it.
It is my Kool-Aid.
No, I just want to... It's trying to not knock out Kool-Aid. But whenever he takes a sip, it's always blurred out because I think he has a blurred background.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's sucking a black dick.
Wow. Marcus is starting off hot already. Wow. Wow.
Hey,
Ryan
on
his OnlyFans.
Ryan, you bought him dinner yet?
What?
Did he buy you dinner?
Oh, hell yeah. The house.
Now, gentlemen, we need to have some decorum, please. Let's have some decorum, please. First, let's thank Marcus for the opening for the show. That, of course, people didn't see the full version because I forgot to click one button, but it wouldn't be this network, if we didn't forget to do this when it comes to the opening of the show. But Marcus, congratulations on that.
The excellence of failure. The excellence of failure of execution. Or something like that. What we said.
We fail to fail. That's what we do. But
the failure of execution.
But
yeah, the failure of executions.
With that being said, this has been a jam-packed weekend. It's a Summerslam weekend. You know, AEW took place, NXT took over on Saturday night, and I think it's only one thing to do, and that's just to dive right in and get started. And we will start with talking about NXT Takeover. NXT Takeover took... Now, my question for you guys, was this at Full Sail, or did this happen at Enway? Because I don't think it was... It was Full Sail.
The only things that go in place in the Thunderdome is Raw, SmackDown, and any of their pay-per-views.
Okay. Now, my question, have they always been able to have pyro and stuff inside a Full Sail?
Not in a full arena. It's a fire hazard.
That was the difference. So,
but when you're in an empty arena, you can do whatever fuck you want to do. It's my place. If I want to burn my fucking building down, I'll burn my building down.
So NXT on the pre-show started off.
NXT
on the pre-show started off with a triple threat match that was solid, which led to Breezango becoming the number one contenders for the tag team titles, which is held by, I believe, Imperium at this point. But the first match that really set the standard, and which could be one of the hardest matches to beat from NXT Takeover, that was Finn Balor defeating Timothy Thatcher in a match and earning Finn Balor the 12th win of his NXT TakeOver career, apparently. Ryan, I'm going to start with you since you're right next to me at the top box. What did you think of this opening match between Thatcher and Balor?
I thought it was pretty solid. I was really impressed by Thatcher. I haven't really watched a lot of Mr. Thatcher, but, he was greedy. He was nasty. He was dirty.
Mr.
Yeah, Mr. Thatcher.
He was nasty. He was getting dirty with Finn. And I really liked it. It was kind of technical, violent, gritty. I really enjoyed it. But Eric, back to the whole tag match that happened in the pre-show. Only Lorcan and Danny Burch are like 0 for 39 on like these damn shows. Why do they keep getting matches? Who have they beaten to keep getting these title shots? They have not won a Dusty Classic. They've been in every one of them. They have not won. I don't know when did they win. I've never seen them win, ever.
And you'd be surprised because Wes in the DSPN Pick'em Championship picked them as the win match. And not only did he pick them as the challenge match, which counted 2. So he started off on a big fat 0 at the beginning of the night.
Why? It doesn't when Mark was telling me, hey man, it's gonna be a pre-show match between you're gonna have the Jero and the dudes, and then you're gonna have
Yeah, he's
Kimbo is never wrestling again over sexual assault charges.
Whatever. I forget their name, but we don't have those dudes, and then Imperium, and then next thing you know, you tell me only Larkin.
You have no facts, and you are completely wrong.
I'm sorry, Brizango and the dudes. I was like, okay, but like when I see Oni Larkin and Danny Burch, I know who's losing.
Well, but we all know that, and that's why, Ryan, I wasn't going to address Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan in this match. I was just going to announce that Breezango won the number one contendership. And, Ryan, I respect your question, but I'm going to totally ignore it and go straight to Lord Manny. Manny, Timothy Thatcher and Finn Balor. Did you think Thatcher had a chance against Finn in this match, but did the right person go over?
Thatcher definitely had a chance, but I think where'd you go with Finn Balor if he took the loss? Like, this guy is meant to be your next main event. And with the oncoming draft, Finn's staying. So with the oncoming draft, you got to think who's going to be around to challenge at the top spot. So the right man won.
With the oncoming draft, you said that he's staying, but I think he could be leaving because you could easily swap Finn out for Kevin Owens, and I think Kevin Owens would be a more productive member than Finn.
Yeah, but I think Finn wants to be on NXT. So that's the main reason why he went. It's not like they went, oh, you're demoted, you're going to NXT. He wanted to go to NXT.
Marcus, I'm going to turn to you to close us out on this match, Marcus. I told you on the phone call that I called you with, I was like, I really enjoyed seeing because it just popped up on my screen. Because I was asking a question, Ryan. Pop, El Luchador, who may be the new DSPN champion soon. Rather than later.
The champion elect. Because West ain't winning another match.
Marcus, Timothy Thatcher, he had the double T's on the back of his trunch, which is so old school. And I was disappointed that he didn't win this match because he's the one wrestler in WWE that can pull off the no knee pads. Going into that match, Marcus, did you think Thatcher was going to win in your opinion, or should he have won? I know it's the same question I asked Manny, but I ran out of something. I got distracted.
Oh, because of the pop? When the pop happens, man, you got to be ready. I didn't think Thatcher was going to win this match because, like Manny said, Finn Balor is currently, and he's not the face of NXT, but he is the guy that's going to be the stable person in NXT right now because they're about to have this draft. People are going to get caught up, and he's someone you can easily rely on to like, oh man, Karrion Kross is injured. Bang, who can I put the belt on? Give it to Finn. I'm okay with that. And no one else would be mad about it. So Finn is a very comfortable win. Thatcher didn't need to win. Thatcher is who he is with his Thatcher catch style or whatever it's called now.
Thatcher catch can.
Catch can.
Thatcher catch can.
I thought it was Thatcher can.
No, it doesn't matter if Thatcher wins or loses. I'm always going to look forward to a Timothy Thatcher match. It's like when I watch William Regal wrestle or someone else like that. It's like, this person's going to give me some good stuff no matter who they're in the ring with or what it's about. Like him and Finn had no story. They had nothing going for it other than he interfered in his match for no reason. They had nothing behind that. He had nothing behind that. And then they went out there and they told a good story about, I'm going to beat your ass. And a very physical, in which I learned that Finn Balor had a ground game.
Yeah. Finn Balor's ground game was a lot better than I thought his ground game could be. I mean, I was shocked. He took it to the mat. But this arguably could have been the match of the night. And I thought that for any match on the rest of the card was going to be extremely hard to follow. However, I was not disappointed because the five-way ladder match for the NXT North American title really exceeded my expectations. Damian Priest became the victor, but I was so invested in this match because they gave me so many opportunities of thinking that my boy Cameron Grimes was going to take the North American title to the moon, but he didn't. But Manny, I'm going to start with you. The Bam Bam Thicolo showed up, and I felt that he had an outstanding showing in this match.
First of all, I came up with that. Don't try and steal that.
That's why I went to you. That's why I went to you.
That's why he said it first. He said it first on the air. That means he admitted it. He's like, that's fine. Nope. Who said it on air first?
But Manny, the performance by Thick Boy, what did you feel about the overall match?
Overall, actual match was really good. It was really spot heavy, but that's what you expect from these types of matches. But I do feel like at times that title was way too low. Like there was one point where Velveteen was actually up there, and then he put his arms up, and then he touched it.
And then he realized, hey, I can get this belt.
Yeah. I was like, this needs to be way higher than it needed to be. Then Velveteen died somehow. Which was
It died on camera.
I was like the most perfect way to kill off the hate he was receiving on Twitter last night.
Onto a black hole.
Well, Marcus,
all that happened.
Yeah, and then the enjoyable spot of the thick boy jumping with Candice LeRae, Chicken LeRae on his back, onto Johnny Gargano.
So, Marcus,
amazing.
The question I was going to ask you, Marcus, as we all know that WWE is about paying your pendants and doing things of that nature. We saw that happen with Dominic in the Singapore Canes. Marcus, do you think that the spot that they designed for Velveteen to jump off out of the ring into some tables over the barricades was his way of saying, I'm sorry for all the unnecessary attention I brought to WWE?
No, I feel like he was going to do that shit anyway. I feel like he was going to do that shit anyway. I think... And I'm going to say, for Velveteen in this match, give zero fucks about these allegations. I feel like he gyrates even more. He came out as the big bad booty daddy, Scott Steiner. Like, he does not give a fuck about these allegations, and nor do I think NXT. Him dying to those tables had nothing to do with it. But the understatement of the year, and Manny brought it, the dive from Chicken LeRae might be my favorite spot off the top of a ladder. Because that looked like, one, it killed Gargano. And two, his wife is like, oh shit, I may kill my husband.
You know, I thought I was going to hate the involvement of Candice LeRae, but for whatever reason, it was booked perfectly. Now, I'm going to ask Ryan the closing question of this segment, because Ryan has been supporting Punishment Martinez since day one. Now he's Damian Priest. Ryan, I asked you, were you satisfied with Damian Priest getting the victory and also him having a hot tub with his women on standby to celebrate his victory with Triple H?
Not only was I happy, I was ecstatic because, too many times you see the faces when they win and shit. Like, or any wrestler, they win, they do the generic celebration, they point to the bell, they point to a sign. Nah, he got drunk, he wanted the hookers, he wanted the party. Okay, this was it. Triple H had to get in on that. Everybody had to get in on that. And he was my pick from the first jump. When Marcus showed me the match, I was like, yo, that's my pick. This is who's gonna win. It ain't gonna be Gargano because no one really cares about Gargano no more. It ain't gonna be Velveteen because he got too much attention on him. It ain't
He's in an entanglement.
He's in a little bit of an entanglement. It's not going to be Bam Bam because Bam Bam is just starting up. That's my dude. I'm like, his stock, in my opinion, is up. Like he's going places. But just not tonight.
El Luchador said STDs are coming his way based on that hot tub. What I really liked about that match, and maybe it was just me, but I knew the one person in the match that I didn't want to win the title, and that was Johnny Gargano. Yep. And every time that he got so close to winning the title, I was cringing. I was like, no. And because I watched it at the my production studio, and I was like just grinding. I was just grinding.
You mean the room you're in?
The room I'm in right now. Yes.
Like what secret layer are you talking about?
And so at that point, it was like, no, every time he got close, when Candice came out, I was like, they better not give him this title. And I'm like, shit. And the next thing you know, Thick Boy almost had the title. But I popped out my seat every time Cameron Grimes came close. And I still think they made the right decision with Damian Priest getting it. I'm glad that the money that he spent on his SUV upgrade to Hummer went well spent so he could bring the hot environment. So he could bring the
one of the highlights, one of the most impressive things about that match was the part when Cameron Grimes had to do the split between the ladder. That looked really painful. And, that was to me was very impressive. I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
Because they could have went wrong. Something like that could just go wrong.
I want to see Big E do that spot since he's been doing the splits a lot. I feel like Big E doing that would make people pop more than Cameron Grimes. Just because he has little legs.
So I don't know the answer to the question that Grunge Smurf asked in the chat. He said, how did y'all get Shotzi to do the intro? That was cool. It's one of the things that the Untitled Marcus and Manny show took care of. I appreciate what they did.
Hey, Eric, it's being called Filipino.
Hey, you know what? You use whatever card you can use to get the job done.
The red guy is the best guy to play.
Oh, wait.
Eddie Tour says it's an all-Filipino podcast. It's the first ever all-Filipino wrestling podcast. I had to betray a Filipino.
And you know what? Shout out to Grudgeworth. He did bring up one of my favorite spots in that match, the RVD split with the ladder with my poor Cameron Grimes in that situation. I felt so bad for him. But, you know.
Wait.
Ryan just did that.
15 seconds ago.
Well, Ryan, I was reading chat and I was doing other stuff, so I wasn't paying attention to you.
Yeah, it's
So-
20 seconds
Go
delay.
make your sandwich.
So guess what, Ryan?
Just go make the sandwich.
You know, you missed me eating my sandwich already.
Checked out. You are
Can I go
checked
back
out.
to the Priest victory with the Hummer and the hot tub? And like that seemed like that was in the Performance Center or the Full Sail parking lot. I mean, he had to do something like that. You had to be pretty bold to feel like you were going to win.
But Marcus,
And you should have known he was going to win when him and Rhea Ripley chose to wear the exact same outfit for the second straight takeover.
that is also true. But Marcus, you knew
When
he
you-
said the
when you
favorite
get
would
a hot
always
tub.
win.
When you get in a hot tub, when in Florida, come on, you got to.
Wait, when you get in a hot tub with leather chain pants, like, you know, you don't give a fuck. I mean, technically, Chris Jericho was in that too. He did it first, but I think Damian Priest did it better. So,
Eric, this was his. I'm going to Disneyland.
yeah, it was.
I want this at the end of every playoff series in the NBA bubble, in which they all just get into the hot tub and celebrate with some skanky assholes who they snuck into the bubble. That
So,
should be a reward for moving on to the next series. We brought them in for you guys. Here's your reward.
you know, the thing about it, though, I think this is going to naturally go into a feud between Cameron Grimes and Damian Priest again because they got long history with each other, and, you know, I look forward to that.
They got hot tub beef?
Man, he slashed his tires.
Yeah, Priest was driving, I believe, a Charger, right?
A Charger.
Yeah.
Or could have been a Challenger.
Charger,
No, I
Charger,
think
one of them.
it was one of them.
It fit
Yeah.
his character, but that's an uncomfortable car.
But that Hummer, the Hummer Jeep or whatever, the one that's destroying the environment, I'm all for it. I'm
Well,
all for it.
El Luchador pointed out something that was very obvious. He said Priest was having that party, win or lose, and I think he's 100% correct. That party was going to take place. So there was something on the night that I was not looking forward to, and that was the Pat McAfee Adam Cole match. However, this match exceeded my expectations, and it proved that Pat McAfee, that punters are real athletes. Ryan, I turn to you in this situation. What did you take away from Pat McAfee and Adam Cole?
Eric, this is my match of the night. I was so invested in this match. I came in here thinking, okay, it's going to be one of those celebrity matches, you know, those goons, some goons are going to get involved, shenanigans are going to happen. But no, Pat McAfee showed up. Not only did he show up, Adam Cole did that job of like, you know, sounding like, oh shit, maybe I've underestimated this dude. He just did a flip, then he jumped at me, then he did a dive. He's all over the place. He pushed Adam Cole to the limit. You know, and to me, it kind of devalues Adam Cole a little bit. But overall, Pat McAfee surprised me. His stock is up. Give him the belt.
Marcus,
Give him the belt.
Give him
No,
the belt.
belt.
Give him the belt.
hey, wait, hey, you guys do not talk about Ryan like that because I did see that trending a lot of places. People were like, just give McAfee the title. And I was like, wait, that's not how we give titles out. Marcus, let me ask you this question. Something that Ryan said. Do you think Pat McAfee taking Adam Cole to the limit does actually devalue him some?
Whatever. I don't give a fuck at this point. I didn't care. It's not like I'm going to be like, oh, I don't want to see an Adam Cole match because he lost or he's getting his ass whooped by a celebrity or whatever. I didn't care. I just enjoyed the match. I just enjoyed the moment. Just being thought up, like, just being swept into it. It may even increase his value that he's a part of carrying Pat McAfee. Because it was a seamless match. It was really good. Adam Cole did not seem like he was overwhelmed. Matt McAfee was taking a lot of shortcuts of pulling hair and cheating and low blows and stuff. Like, I don't know. I I enjoyed the match, and I don't care about the value of wrestlers anymore. I'm gonna like who I'm like. I'm so sick of people caring about the value of wrestlers these days. Oh my God, they lost. Shut the fuck up. Don't just shut the fuck up.
I was gonna interrupt you. You're the one who got an Okada, just like me, for fighting Sonata for 45 minutes when he should have squashed him in 10. But now you okay with Adam Cole being pushed to the limit by Pat McAfee for 25 minutes?
Bam Bam Bigelow got his ass beat by Lawrence Taylor. That didn't hurt me in my relationship with Bam Bam.
Proven murderer. Okay, so
he never murdered nobody. He never murdered nobody. In fact, he's in the Velveteen situation.
All right, gentlemen, calm down. Lumberchat member 2606 DL said McAfee ran the ropes better than some of the NXT jobbers, and I would agree with that point that he said. McAfee looked really good in that match to the point where I actually thought I was going to have the Lawrence Taylor Bam Bam Bigelow moment where he got the win over Adam Cole. Manny, at any point, it's not your turn, Ryan. It's Manny's turn. At any time, Manny, did you think McAfee was walking away with the win?
Do you know what? I watched a little training preview which I sent Marcus, and if you didn't watch it, you were a fool that you weren't going to be surprised at what McAfee was going to be able to do. But when I saw him leap to the top rope and then follow that with a suplex, I was like, this is it. He's winning this match. That's
it.
That is it.
And Manny, I was with you. I was like, damn, he's about to lose this match. But Matthew said in the Lumber Chat, he says he felt like this match was to help Adam Cole's popularity to face a celebrity. Cole is going to be brought up to the main roster soon. With that being said, do you think this loss to Pat McAfee will hurt him in the long run with the popularity to the casual audience, or do you think the casual audience won't even know what happened? Ryan, I'll leave that question with you. Oh, wait, Manny, you seem like you had an answer, so I'll go to Manny.
Yeah, well, you know this is going to appear on ESPN on Monday. It's definitely going to appear on ESPN. More people are going to know who the hell Adam Cole is. And that is going to build a better brand for Adam Cole, and not to mention bring more eyes into what was going on. Like, who's this guy that beat up Pat McAfee? All the sports heads that are considered bros that like the Pat McAfee content will check this out.
At this point of the NXT show, I had it. If I did grades, it was an A+. Like the 3 first matches and even the opening match really set the standard, and so I had a lot of high hopes for the 2 individual championship matches. And to
Can
Marcus,
I stay on McAfee for a bit?
Go ahead, Marcus. As I was trying to transition, but go ahead.
I know you want to transition. I know you're in the middle of transitioning. We support you 100% in your transitioning, Eric. But with that being said,
wow.
With that being said, would you like to see Pat McAfee compete on a regular basis in wrestling now? Now that you saw what you saw, or do you think this is a one-time deal?
I think it's a one-time deal. I don't know how much more you can get from him, because to Adam Cole's credit, I think that he carried him a lot in the match, but I think he has some untapped talent in professional wrestling. I just don't know if he wants to be a wrestler because he has so much else going on for him with his radio show and, being a correspondent. I just don't see him giving that up to put your body on the line.
So,
would you give him a manager role or something? I would give him a manager role.
Arguably he is one of the better talkers in the game right now, which is sad to say. But yeah, I mean, you could see him having a stable. I mean, he had AJ Hawk, Darius, somebody, and somebody else. I don't remember their names. I mean,
this ain't even Darius.
No, that's what.
This ain't even Darius.
He's talking about the black guy. He's talking about the black guy.
Yeah, I knew who Darius. When he said Darius, I was like, "That's the black guy right there."
Talking about Darius, Tyrone, and Dominique. You weren't gonna say nothing like that. But what I thought McAfee had this match that a lot of wrestlers don't bring. He had, or even the heels, he had that heel persona that he was carrying through it, that he was just talking shit throughout. And I think a lot of people miss that when they just go into other moves. I feel like he has psychology better than most wrestlers.
It's really just weird. Like, watching Pat McAfee, like, I've watched Shane McMahon for like 20-something years. like, what I've seen from Pat McAfee in 15 minutes far exceeded almost everything Shane has ever done in the ring you know, Pat McAfee did more than just fall off stuff and then get thrown into stuff.
He's in the show spot.
Yeah,
well,
he did it all.
The jumping on top rope. All right, we can move on.
I wouldn't be Eric if I wouldn't say this. I felt that Pat McAfee was better than half of the AEW roster. With that being said, you know, as I was trying to say in transition, we had 2 singles matches for the championship, and we had high hopes for this. And one of those matches delivered. The other one, well, not so much. So, arguably, coming into the very next match following Adam Cole versus McAfee was Io Shirai, who defeated Dakota Kai. Everyone knows I was Team Kai in this situation, and I really wanted her to win. Overall, this was a good match. It wasn't a great match. And at this point in the show, I had it being the worst match of the night, which is not saying that. It's just that compared to the other competition, it was hard to compete with anything else. Manny, Io Shirai and Dakota Kai, what were your impressions of that match?
It was a solid match. Like, you gotta compare it. You can't compare it to much that was going on that night anyway. Like, you had what was going on in AEW, which doesn't even come close to what you witnessed on anything tonight. But I really enjoyed this match. Like, it told a good story, and then you've got the square off that we all wanted, that we fantasy booked on the Untitled Manny and Marcus show.
Hey.
Of Big Mama Cool and Rhea Ripley.
That was a nice payoff. Ryan, I turn to you. Big Mama Cool, Rhea Ripley, the standoff. Was that more exciting than the entire match, or did you enjoy the match?
I like the match, but, you know, I like the square up too. Like, those women look way more impressive. They look way more fit. They look like beasts together, like looking at each other in the eyes like they're going to tear each other apart, as opposed to Io and Dakota, who look on a little bit on the featherweight, bantamweight, whatever size. But I did like the match. It wasn't a bad match. Just it wasn't anything like memorable. I can't think of anything that I can think of. Oh, this is memorable. This spot happened. It was just a good, normal, kind match.
Marcus, I turn to you because you've been supporting Io since day one. In that match, Marcus, at the very beginning, Io went for her normal flipping spot, and she almost.
I knew you were gonna talk shit.
She almost busted her head wide open in that spot. Were you concerned for Io's ability to finish the match after that botched situation?
No, because I knew Io was a trooper. I knew she was a soldier. I knew she ain't gonna go down. She knew the lights were on. She never disappoints. Oh, no, that botch was bad, but I damn to see Brandy do that.
Don't worry, we will have time to talk about Brandy later on this show. Did anyone else? Go ahead.
Like everybody said, I got nothing new to say about this match, so it's not. It was what it was.
It was there. Yeah,
it was good. It was a good match. There was nothing wrong with this match, or even the finish of the match with Ripley and Gonzalez, and then the stare down of her and the belt. All of that made sense. Everything made sense. It was just what it was. It was as expected.
The only thing that was really noticeable in this match was Dakota Kai had a little rip in her little booty. Like, I know got a little hole in her little fishnet. But other than that, I can't think of anything in this match.
You know,
Hands where we can see them, pervert.
No. Well, you know what? Ryan, don't let them shame you for being a pervert, because I noticed the hole too, and I was concerned. Because I was like, is she having an allergic reaction back there? Because it started, like, the fat started coming out the fish. It was really weird.
It looked like a pimple.
Yeah, I was like,
it was like Austin Powers, where he's like, there's a mole right there.
And it actually distracted me from the match because I couldn't stop looking at it. It was just like, what is going on?
She didn't tan that one spot. Why didn't she tan this one spot?
Matthew in the Lumberjack, he said they should have had Big Mama Cool turn on Dakota. When I see Dakota on her manager, it reminds me of Nash and Michaels when they were together. You know, I think for me that was one of the biggest disappointments, because we hadn't seen Big Mama Cool in such a long time, and she finally came back, and it made me believe that Dakota Kai had a chance to get her title. But I know what's in the passion for Dakota Kai. She's going up yonder to probably the main roster sooner rather than later. So now,
and do what?
Don't worry about what Dakota gonna do, man.
Fight Carmella. None of your business what she gonna do.
Fight Carmella.
So now, I like to call this, we go to a restaurant, we have this wonderful meal on the menu, we look at the meal on the menu, we get the pyro and the fire coming out, but then the match happens and you're just left saying, that's all we got? Marcus, I start with you. Karrion Kross versus Keith Lee. Do you think by us having to watch alone of the best of Keith Lee really affected our opinion of this match between him and Karrion Kross?
For me, it didn't. It still, I was already hyped up to the move for this match. Like, I was with Cameron Grimes on the move, getting all the way. Just like, I can't wait for this one. I'm sure these two guys aren't going to disappoint. And maybe I set my expectations too high. What the fuck is that?
Plane, get
Sound like an airplane, man.
Plane coming.
I'll wait. God damn, man.
I don't think we've ever had a plane.
Yeah. Who's flying that low?
Obama sitting his drone.
Anyway, but no, the match was very disappointing, and it just ended out abruptly with the suplex off the top, and then you learn that Cross may have a career ending injury, and say maybe that's why they cut it short. But it was a very disappointing match.
You speak of the injury, Ryan. I turn to you. The injury that you hear about him having a separated shoulder, or something. I can't remember exactly what the injury was. Do you think that really affected the outcome of the match? Because the match to me really felt like it was a ground and pound thing. Like, let's keep Big Keith Lee on the ground and go from there. I don't know what to really expect in this match. What did you feel?
Now, I haven't really read up on the injury. Does he have a separated shoulder, or is it a torn rotator?
Separated shoulder.
I think it's separated shoulder.
Separated shoulder. Okay, that's worse.
Well,
because of the torn rotator.
That's what Edge has. I think it's what Edge has.
Ooh. Oh man, that's really bad. But even so, that match was very disappointing because that match is supposed to be like a war, as in like what we've seen from Dijakovic and Keith Lee. Instead, we got some type of slow burn heavyweight match, and it really did not live up to the hype. But yeah, that injury will definitely affect your performance as someone with the torn rotator and left arm, the separated shoulder, and the right arm. It'd be quite impossible to finish the match. To do anything remotely lifting or pulling or throwing, you can't do it. So I don't know when this injury happened, but if that injury happened early on, I could just see that changing the entire match from the jump. Like,
now, Manny, if this injury did take place, do you have a level of forgiveness for the disappointment of this match, or do you think the match was booked badly to begin with?
No, I don't think they would have booked a bad match. But for me, I definitely, my viewpoint of this was I watched too much Keith Lee over the weekend, and I can't get out of my head now thanks to the.
Do you guys have a motherfucking airport going on?
What's going on? Is it the apocalypse?
And I can't get out of my head. If you watch the watch along, excuse the part where Eric walked off the show to make a sandwich.
Damn right I did.
If you got through that, you got to the part where we kept going, you guys need to stop fucking with me.
Stop fucking with me.
With everything Keith Lee does. Now I can't watch Keith Lee match ever again without thinking about that.
So Manny, El Luchador brings up a great point. He says that based on what this match had surrounding about pretty much Karrion Kross fucking with Keith Lee, could blood and brutality really help enhance this match?
Yeah, it could have. It would have changed. It would change the match significantly. But I think the moment that injury happened, the match changed. So, I think you have to play a bit more safer than actually going out, because I think if they went on longer and did the stuff that they were supposed to do, I think Karrion Kross may be out longer than he actually is. He's having an MRI on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, it was a safe way. It seems like we're on the road to another tournament for the vacant NXT championship. As Grunge Smurf brought up, this is something that I saw really come up after Keith Lee lost the title. He says NXT needs to have more of balance of title reigns. The faces only hold the belts for a very short time, and that's what a lot of people felt. And then the narrative that came out was that Keith Lee deserved better than what he got. Marcus, I'm going to go to you with this question. Do you feel Keith Lee was shortchanged by the way that he lost to Karrion Kross?
Well, what I'm hearing is that, Keith Lee deserves better and that, he didn't keep it that long. But when Keith Lee won this title, I never thought he was going to keep it long. I didn't think he was going to be that dominant champ. He wasn't going to do a Finn Balor year and some change run or a Pete Dunne. I almost said Dune. I know. I almost said Dune.
Welcome to my side, man.
When I was talking, and I was like, oh, shit, I may say this wrong.
Welcome to the Dune side.
But, that they do long face runs with titles in NXT. It's just, sparingly. But the heels are the ones that's supposed to have the title more. In wrestling, in general, the heels are always the ones that keep the title longer because it's just, put the heat on them and whatnot, whether you're Lesnar, Adam Cole, or
Jinder Mahal,
Jamie L. The heels always keep it longer. And because the psychology is the chase for the face is always better. It's like when Rhea Ripley got the belt, it was like, I don't care anymore. Or even when Keith Lee got the belt, it's not the chase anymore.
But as you said, the story has always been in any type of creative endeavor, whether it's a movie, whether it's a book, there's always the hero's journey. And that's what wrestling has always been built upon, where the face is pursuing the championship from the evil person who has the title. Ryan, I'm going to ask you this question because I know you're a big Tommaso Ciampa fan. They announced that Ciampa will be returning this Wednesday. Do you see what role Ciampa will be playing when he comes back? Do you see something in his future?
Hopefully not a face, because I do not like face Ciampa at all. I prefer him to be heel and being evil and being sick. But then again, you already got too many heels on NXT right now who are filling that role. Like, that's what Karrion Kross was doing. He can't be another version of Karrion Kross. So I don't know what Ciampa is going to be. I just don't want to be a face. He's boring as a face. It's not interesting. But I'm happy he's coming back. He is a GOAT of NXT in my opinion. But he just can't be a face.
And then
just like Gargano can't be a heel.
The last question that I have. Oh, first of all, shout out to Gargano. His outfit was fire. I really did.
Was he Apocalypse?
I didn't know if he was Ghost Rider, if he was Punisher. I didn't know what he was, but his outfit was fire, and I really enjoyed it. And then shout out to Scarlett in her all leather suit. I mean, and then I would point out. Let me tell you something. Scarlett put a bigger beating on Karrion Kross after he won the match than Keith Lee did, because I don't even think Keith Lee landed Grizzly Magnum. Manny, was there anything missing from NXT TakeOver that could have made this show even better for you?
I think it missed a tag match. It's weird to say, but it definitely missed a tag match on the main show. Because you got a tag match in the pre-show, but you never got one. You didn't even get mention of the NXT Tag Team Champions. So I think that was missing. But other than that, it was a pretty solid show.
The one thing that I was missing, and it's the thing I always enjoy about NXT TakeOver, is that they usually use TakeOver to debut their next signee or something like that. And I was kind of sad that they don't have any signees to debut, but needless to say, things happen and we move on. And
Can I ask the question?
Go ahead, Marcus.
What match, Manny, would you have bumped for a tag match? Because I think they wanted to keep the show like they did, like 2.5 hours. I think that's where WWE pay-per-views are at right now, in which they're not going past the 3-hour mark. What match would have been bumped for a tag match?
I don't think you would have bumped it. I think you would have just cut some time from some places. Maybe. I don't think you would have bumped. I don't think I would have bumped anything.
I think you could have trimmed the ladder match a little bit and still came across with the same good narrative in that match. I mean, but I think the ladder match, you could even took a little bit of time away from Thatcher and Balor. Like, there was ways they could have made some modifications, but overall, I thought the show was a great show. But like we said, things have been moved, and one of the things that was moved was AEW. It became AEW Dynamite Saturday night, and since
Dynamite,
and since we've been talking for a minute, I have orchestrated a break, and I will play this from AEW, and then we can discuss what we hear afterwards.
The MJF campaign. It's been very amusing. It's fun TV. And MJF has said and will say a lot of bad things about me, but I'm used to it. I'm an easy target. Honestly, you miss most of the good stuff. What you should do is talk to my wife, because she'll give you like a 2-page list of all my faults and problems. And all that stuff doesn't really bother me, but I have to say, people who feel the need to just talk about themselves all the time really just kind of rub me the wrong way. Because where I come from, the toughest guys usually don't have to say much.
Oh, we're not muted?
No.
They don't hide behind words.
Don't talk about your capitals of the world, Marcus. Do not talk about your capitals of the world.
Makes me wonder, MJF, what exactly are you hiding? MJF thinks he's the future of this business, and I'd be hard-pressed to disagree with it. MJF is talented.
Whatever this promo is, I'm falling asleep.
In every way.
With this promo, you're missing the fact that he was walking around like a crackhead.
And I hope you're right, because I want this company to succeed for decades and decades into the future, and I want you to be the man, just like you say you are, to lead this company for the next 25 years. I sure as hell ain't gonna last another 25 years. The way I feel when I get up in the morning, I'm lucky if I get another 18 months.
18 months?
All your potential. I want you to fulfill all your potential, and my money is that you will. One day you will move out of your parents' basement. One day you will lose your virginity, and one day you will become a world champion.
What are you talking about?
But that day ain't September 5th. I'll
Not
tell you what's gonna happen on
September 5th.
September 5th. I'm gonna beat the hell out of you. I'm gonna kick you and punch you and elbow you so hard, so many times. I'm gonna headbutt you right in the forehead. I'm gonna try to split your skull with my skull. Then ultimately, I'm gonna dump you on the top of your head. MJF, when your lungs are burning with exhaustion, when you're in a firefight, when we are deep in the game, I will be in my glory. I will be in heaven, but you will look for a way out. And the whole world will find out exactly what.
I can't tell if that's him breathing or if somebody on this call.
No, that was him. So with that, for me, this is one of the things
for moving so much
that I've always been very critical, especially a couple of weeks ago when Jon Moxley talked about how management doesn't let him make his I have my own show to everybody, so I can have my opinion. Where management doesn't allow him to be him, where he has a 73-page scripted promo to set. At this point, I thought he cut a very stellar promo at this point. I thought MJF was being called out. I really enjoyed Jon Moxley at this point. What I found extremely interesting about the entire situation was when he said 18 months. Because once he said 18 months, it was a very interesting tidbit, because earlier in the week, he was saying very positive things about WWE, which may have led to many people feeling that his contract could expire in 18 months, and he may want to go back and get those double paychecks from WWE, since Renee Young put her walk away in for right there. So at this point, I'm going to ask Eric, how do you feel about Jon Moxley's promo? Well, I thought Jon Moxley's promo was really good, but what was very interesting about Jon Moxley's promo was when MJF cut his promo, and MJF went along and said that what's gonna happen is that he consulted his lawyer, and his lawyer is going to have to get the what is that move called? Eric, do you know what that move is called? I don't know what that move is called.
Paradigm shift,
the paradigm shift. Thank you, Marcus. The paradigm shift.
Hold on.
He was trying to have
some bologna and put in some wheat bread.
He was trying to have that. He was trying to have that new band. I'm glad you guys can eat, man. I'm glad.
Let me some salami.
With that being said, gentlemen, Jon Moxley's promo. Did you enjoy that promo, or did you enjoy MJF's response even better? Ryan, I turn to you as Marcus is putting dangling meat into his mouth.
Like I said, me and Marcus, we're watching this. The part where Moxley goes, well, 18 months. I'm pretty sure everybody in AEW ownership went, whoa, what do you mean 18 months? We gotta renegotiate this contract if your ass is planning on being here for just another 18 months. You're the only millionaire in the company. Why are you talking about you only got 18 months left? And then
how's that sound, Ryan?
Good, spicy. I love me some salami.
You know, shout out to 2606DL. He says the entitled Eric and Eric show. I appreciate that. Manny, MJF was going to try to bend the paradigm shift. I felt that the MJF promo was even better than the Jon Moxley promo because, for one thing, for week in, week out on AEW, we've had him tell the only female member of his unit to smile. And her creepy smile felt like how Anna Jay must have felt when she was with the Dark Order. Did you prefer MJF's rebuttal to Jon Moxley, or were you like me, just happy that they're actually acknowledging each other for the upcoming date?
Well, the lawyer cut a better promo than Jon Moxley did. I felt the lawyer sold the whole thing. I like I said during the promo, I can't stand when I'm watching a Jon Moxley promo and he's moving all the time, because now all you're doing is you're focused on me moving. You're not listening to what I'm saying. So he would
take out those boxes over there.
He looked like a crackhead looking for his next fix, and that's what it was for me.
So, Marcus, my question for you: does John only got 18 months left, or did he just say 18 months?
I don't know. It's a very specific number.
Yeah.
It's not like 12 months is a year, 20 months is 24 months is 2 years, and so on and so on. But he was like 18 months, 4 minutes, and 8 hours left. Like, what? That's a very specific number. Again, as my theory a long time ago, but this is before Renee Young announced that she was leaving, I was saying Jon Moxley would be the first one to go back. Like, just it was that awkward leaving of him going, or if he does leave, he may just go to Japan, where he is still currently the United States champion until Kenta take that from his ass. But I just think 18 months is very specific. I don't know why. I'm not someone to like, oh, he should leave and go to WWE, but just him going out there because you have free will to say whatever the hell you want. Hey man, I'm out in 18 months. I hope you know that. What? My career? We signed you. You're the face. We want you to be the man. Nah, man, y'all good. Y'all good. MJF can take it from here.
So we need to go to the biggest shock of the night, and that was the shock of the TNT Championship, where Brody Lee said it himself he's never had this type of opportunity before, although he did challenge for the AEW Championship at one point in his life. But he defeated Cody Rhodes in, I would like to call, a squash match, to the point that it led to Cody Rhodes being stretchered out, then Arn Anderson getting attacked, and then the whole entire Nightmare family being brought out and attacked, and to Manny, I'll even let you say what happened at the end.
Brandon Rhodes got choked out, and it was great.
That was the best. That was the best moment of the night when they finally got, at the end of Friday, when they finally whooped Ludacris for kicking over those trash cans. That's what I feel like happened to Brandy. They finally got that.
Little Chris, not Ludacris.
Little Chris. You heard Luda, but it's Little Chris. And they got up and they finally got that motherfucker. They were celebrating in the middle of the street. That's how I felt when they got Anna Jay. That's how I was to end the show. With them celebrating. We finally got that motherfucker, Brandy and Cody.
Yeah, I mean, were you shocked that Cody just went in there and jobbed, that he took the night off?
I was shocked that I wouldn't say it was like it was very in the vein of
you were so
John
shocked you
Cena
didn't know what to say.
Lesnar. Huh?
You were so shocked you didn't even know what to say.
Yeah, I was stunned. I couldn't even stutter. I was just like, but it was very in the vein of John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, or Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton, in which he just went in there and took care of business. Wasn't playing around with anything, just beat him around the ring, and then got some of R2. Like, this was the reverse opposite celebration of Damian Priest. I'm going to be cool about this. I'm going to go celebrate with my hoes in a private hot tub outside next to my Humvee, and I'm going to chill. This was, I'm going to tell the whole world, they never gave me a chance. I don't care about the Intercontinental Champion, Tag Team Champion, or had a title matches with John Moxley. Y'all ain't never gave shit about me. And now I'm acting a damn fool, and I'm going to beat everybody's ass. I enjoyed that celebration.
I just think for me,
Cody was over the top.
This was the first time ever since Brody Lee has made his appearance that they booked Brody Lee as the Exalted One. It might have took 6 months for him to be booked like a monster, and maybe there is hope for the Murder Hawk one day too. But Ryan, are you happy that Brody Lee is the new TNT champion?
Not only am I happy, Eric, I am over the roof with this because Cody has been pushed to the limit by, what's his name, Warhorse, all these jobbers, 30-minute matches, 40-minute matches. He faces the exhausted one. He gets his ass smacked. Okay? That's what Cody should have been doing with this damn belt. That's how you take care of business. I was happy. This, to me, was like a face turn to me. Like, I don't know how he's a heel in this entire scenario.
And then
he couldn't attack a man on the stretcher and had his goons beat up on a 70-year-old man.
That man
choked out his wife.
That man
undeserved everything he got. He was getting a little bit too cocky.
Yeah, that man who was on that stretcher, Marcus, got up off that stretcher, who couldn't walk, and walked over to take a shot with the broken title in the sack, which was a nice touch.
I didn't understand the title, the stretcher though. I didn't feel like Brody did enough to put you in the stretcher. If that's what it was to put you in the stretcher, I remember that time you fell through the table with Darby Allin, it was Jungle Boy, and then you got up first and everything, and I was like, I feel like you got the beating on you in these other matches more, but maybe they're still in the wear and tear of all those matches.
Possibly
has paid his toll. I mean, but I felt like it wasn't warranted for him to put the thumbs up, especially when there's no audience there that can see it.
You sum it up.
You giving it Shirley Giovanni? I don't care about his concerns.
Yeah, Thursday night should be interesting so we can get the rebuttal, but I guess there's a war of the Dark Order versus the Nightmare Family, which...
I have one question for you, though, about this.
Okay.
Just one. And I don't know, I was leaving the kid kick my ass, but I was like, no, I'm not going there. But...
Gimmick infringement.
What I felt like at the end of this show was that my fear of all along is that the TNT title is the real title. Because it closed the show and Brody celebrated like he won the real title, and this is the main title. And I believe that's what happened here. I feel like that was a change of the guard. Because they were like, we now run this place. That's normally something the main champion's allowed to say, not the mid-card TNT-sponsored champion.
Like, he even said that to the effect that now, like you said, he runs the place. And, I mean, if I'm TNT, I would want the TNT championship to be highlighted more. I mean, overall, I thought it was a solid inning. That was probably, like, when I think about this show, Brody Lee winning and Jon Moxley and MJF promo was the two things I liked the most about the show. However, it wouldn't be AEW for me if I didn't have things to criticize and talk about. And one of the things I would like to talk about is the mishappings of Will Hobbs against Darby Allin. This match, I don't understand why they had to file Will Hobbs, one of the better looking in shape wrestlers that AEW has on their roster as a jobber, and he had to lose to Darby Allin. Luckily, we didn't have to deal with this because Ricky Starks from NWA fame came out as an alternate version of Darby Allin.
He is a part of AEW. He's been there for about 2 months, I think.
I know Ricky Starks from NWA, and that's the Ricky Starks that I like. But with that being said, he cuts a stellar promo, and he orchestrates an attack on Darby Allin. And for me, I enjoyed everything about this until Brian Cage showed up. I can't stand Brian Cage. Manny, did you like this interaction between Ricky Starks and Darby Allin and unfortunately Brian Cage?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Brian Cage brought nothing to this other than coming out from nowhere in the slowest running I've ever seen in my life to attack the man that was distracted.
He looks weird in jeans. He just looks weird. Like, I don't think he's getting his right steroids or something. He looks weird and he looks out of place. Like, he looks like he doesn't belong here. He should just leave. I don't think
Brian Cage is the limpest dick in wrestling, and I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means.
How do you know? How do you know?
I'm just saying, in a time of wrestlers being really good workers and people performing at top notch, like on the night, I would not say no one. I'm going to say no one really did a bad job tonight. There was some bad shit that happened, but Brian Cage came out as the weak link of this Saturday night of wrestling. Like, he just came out there, and I just, like, went, ugh. Like, it was a Baron Corbin grown, but at least I know what I'm getting when I get with Baron Corbin. When I saw Brian Cage, I was already over it. I would rather for Ricky Starks, Taz, and Darby Allin just to share this feud alone. And we never mentioned the FTW title. We never mentioned Brian Cage or his bum rotator cuff or whatever his shoulder injury is. I just don't need him. He's trash. He's trash.
The new
Brian Cage is like, you know, a tank compared to Darby Allin. Why does he need the team title? Just go out there and get him.
The future DSP champion says that Cage is Stark's muscle. and I asked that question. It's like, I get him being Ricky Stark's muscle, but then I asked, do we really still need Taz in this situation? Manny, is Taz like the ingredient in this meal that we don't need anymore?
Well, now that you got Ricky Starks who can talk, you definitely don't need Taz. But I don't think Ricky Starks needs to be with Brian Cage, to be honest.
He didn't hang out with him. All right, barely sit down with him and then have a talk. I don't want you hanging around Brian no more. He is a bad influence, and you don't want to become like him.
So you mentioned that Brian Cage is Ricky Stark's muscle. I could have sworn it was kind of like the other way around in a bit, because I thought Brian Cage was like the featured guy, and Ricky Stark's just a dude, a part of the group with Taz in them. Now it seems like the roles have reversed. That like now Brian Cage is gooning. He's straight gooning.
But he's the worst goon in the game. And you know how much shit I give Wardlow for his stupid looks. Wardlow looks like Hulk Hogan, charismatically, when you compare him to Brian Cage. That's what I'm talking about here. Brian Cage is the worst muscle. Big Mama Cool got him. Wardlow got him. Eric Rowan had him. I'm just thinking of people just standing in the background who just is the muscle. And Brian Cage isn't it.
Marcus, I'm going to stop you right there. There's no reason to waste any more breaths on Brian Cage in this situation.
I want to beat this dead horse, Eric.
Let's move on to something that was...
Batman beat that thug in that trailer.
Let's move on.
Have you seen this trailer?
No. I'm trying to say...
You need to watch the Batman. Oh, my God.
I'm still trying to move the show along.
Eric, it is amazing.
As Marcus and Ryan try to deter and derail this show, I will talk about something that AEW did that was really shocking, that they tried to give you a reason to watch Little Box action. That was when Sammy Guevara came out with his signs, and somehow, some way, mysteriously, he did not check his signs before he started going through them, and Matt Hardy put some signs, and Matt Hardy attacked Sammy Guevara in Little Box action that led into the main action. Ryan, I know you have not been watching AEW regularly. Do you care about Matt Hardy getting his revenge for throwing that chair? There goes Manny. Do you care about Matt Hardy trying to get his revenge on Sammy Guevara for the failed chair attempt?
Eric, you lost me at Matt Hardy because I don't care about Matt Hardy. I have never cared about Matt Hardy. I've cared about the broken gimmick. I've cared when he was, version 1. I don't care about just Matt Hardy running out there being Matt Hardy. Okay? So no, I did not care. Matt Hardy bores me. Matt Hardy should go. He should go away.
Marcus, what about you? Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara.
Picture in picture, I just don't feel like I needed it on a Saturday. I understand why they do it on Wednesday. You get it, and it's you're trying to not lose views to NXT and whatnot. But on Saturday, man, just go to commercial. Just cut the commercial. I don't need. You can just give me this when you come back for break. I don't need to, because I know. I'll tell you, see, I skip through picture in picture. I skip it all the time. I skip it because nothing happens. And so when I'm seeing Sammy getting beaten around like that, I'm like, oh, I continue to skip it. I continue to skip it. And then for them to come back and watch Sammy do what Sammy does, which is like a 360 tornado flip into a table, I was like, that was what it was. Yeah, let's move back on with the show. I didn't need that shit.
Manny,
go to commercial.
Manny, we probably should go to commercial with the whole Matt Hardy, Sammy Guevara talk. Besides Sammy Guevara promoting the show, was there anything else that you took away from this?
No, I'm done with Matt Hardy and all his multiverse characters. He just needs to go away. Someone needs to Thanos snap him.
He will not die. He will not die.
No, he will die. The only person that won't die is Ric Flair because he is the real Immortal One.
He has genes.
So since we are talking about death, there's something that may be dying, and that could be the popularity of Chris Jericho, because he came up with one of the most, I guess, his own brand type of match between him and Orange Cassidy to settle their score with the Mimosa Match Challenge. Marcus, why? Why?
Is this going to be a cinematic match?
No.
Where are we going? What are we doing with this? I swear to God, if R-Truth and Tozawa said we're gonna have a mimosa, although it might be funny seeing him say mimosa, but anyway, if him and Tozawa are gonna have a mimosa madness match or whatever it's called, people will be like, WWE, Vince McMahon's a senile man who's lost touch. Chris Jericho announced this, and I was like, is that where we're going for this? I don't need this. This seems terrible. I've seen women in grease bowl matches. Okay, that was the height of any match like this.
Grease bowl.
Okay, yeah, whatever it was called.
I don't know. Man. It was gravy. Right. It was gravy.
Grease bowl.
No grease.
I've seen women in gravy. That's pretty much the height of what I could get out of this. This is garbage.
Manny,
I don't want to see this.
Now I'm going to turn to you, Manny. Are you a fan of mimosas, and do you feel like this match is going to disrespect the name of mimosas?
That question. You know I love mimosas.
I said I wanted to ask to Manny, Marcus. I know you love mimosas. I want to know if Manny feels mimosas are being disrespected by this.
Yes, it is being disrespected. I mean, you got to think. There are thousands of people that would love a mimosa, and they're just going to go and ruin about 7 gallons of it.
I mean, brunch is a staple in everybody's life, and due to this pandemic, no one can have brunch. So seeing all those mimosas being wasted is a tragedy in itself. Ryan, I'm going to turn to you to close out this segment. Why? Why? Did we really need the rubber match between Orange Cassidy and Jericho? Because the second one was not better than the first, so I don't expect anything from the third, even with the involvement of mimosas.
Man, we don't need this shit, but it just so happens that Orange Cassidy is a ratings draw, and they're just looking for any excuse to get him something to be with Jericho. And this is like, see, shit like this. When you have lightning in the bottle like Orange Cassidy, he can do anything. He's entertaining. He's entertaining. Shit like this is like you can have him jump the shark, or it can make him. But it's stuff like this that just ruins the game. You can kill the character, you can kill anybody's interest. You can go the reverse opposite effect when people just like, you know what? I want Orange Cassidy off my TV. I want him. He can get that X-Pac heat with something like this alone.
Can I tell you something? I'm shocked no one in wrestling has jumped a shark yet. Literally jumped a shark. I feel like that needs to happen.
Brock Lesnar at 5 the shark.
I would love to see if they did it in this match and they come to the conclusion that they have this mimosa match. At one point, there's a shark in the mimosa tank, and someone jumps over that mimosa tank with a shark in it. I'd say this match was well worth it. Just saying.
All right, and so before we get to the tag team palooza that took place, and we're just going to briefly cover that on AEW, there was one thing that happened that kind of popped up out of the blue. That was when Thunder Rosa, the current NWA Women's Champion, popped up on AEW's television and challenged Sheeta to a match on September 5th, where she wanted to take the AEW's Women's Championship. So, does this mean that AEW and NWA has some type of business partnership going forward? Ryan, do you know who Thunder Rosa is?
Of course I do. She's the greatest wrestler of all time. Right after Magnus. right after Magnus. Right after what's the girl name who worked at the diner?
I don't know. You talking about Marty Bell?
No, NWA.
I forgot her name.
That one. Just like that. No, but I think it's cool that NWA is joining with AEW. I hope they're doing something. You gotta get Magnus on TV. Magnus is doing nothing. Okay? All these NWA people are doing nothing. Tim Storm is doing nothing. Get Tim Storm on TV. He will kill himself if he is not wrestling. Wrestling is real to him. Save Tim Storm. Save Magnus. Save Thunder Rosa.
Isn't Tim Storm like 50 years old?
But he don't know what to do after wrestling, man. Don't you hear his promos? Tim Storm is always doubting life after wrestling. Okay, we need to get him on TV. We need to get him on TV, to get Magnus on TV. We need to get, who else?
James
The question mark.
Yeah, get the question mark. We'll get all these characters who are just sitting at home doing nothing on AEW. Form the alliance.
Shooter, Aaron Stevens.
Marcus, what about you?
Do?
Thunder Rosa. Is this something that you're excited, or could this be something that can really hurt the already weak women's division in AEW?
I don't see how it hurts. It's just, they actually have a woman in their women's division. Their women's division reminded me of the time in Southpaw Wrestling when they brought in Natty. I can't remember her name. And then John Cena was like, you need two of them. You need two women in the women's division. You need two. You can't just have one. And that's what they currently have right now. It's one person, and it's Sheila, because Nyla Rose has retired. She's the number one contender. But since she linked up with Victor Guerrero, she has not been seen on TV. Big Swole is in some storyline with Britt Baker, even though Britt Baker can't wrestle.
But Penelope Ford.
Statlander's out. Penelope Ford is chilling.
No, she's working with Britt Baker.
Yeah, but none of that makes sense. There are no women on their show. They have nobody that can see. They needed Thunder Rosa to come in.
Marcus, there's always Brandy, man. Gotta give her the strap.
With that being said, Manny, I'm gonna have you take. I'm
gonna
have you take this home. NWA's champion coming in. Does she beat Sheeta, or do you let Sheeta beat the NWA champion? What happens here?
Neither. I don't care about neither belts. I don't care.
That's a good answer.
Woman coming in here looking like Darby Allin. I don't need this stuff.
Well, Manny,
she's tougher than Darby Allin.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah,
With Manny's saying the key words, we don't need this stuff. Something that we really didn't need, and AEW gave us a lot, was tag team matches. Let me give you a rundown of the matches that we got. We got Diamante and Ivelisse defeating the Nightmare Sisters to win the useless Women's Dark Draw Cup. We got the Elite teaming up defeating the lower level members of the Dark Order in also another meaningless match. Then we had the Jurassic Express teaming up with the Natural Nightmares, or the whatever they were, defeating the Butcher the Blade and the Lucha Brothers. And then you had FTR defeating the Private Party. There's only...
Eric, you skipped over the Eddie Kingston coming out there.
No, he hasn't.
Ryan, I was coming back to...
Let him do his job.
Let me do my job, man. Let me do my job. Okay. So, of those 4 matches, there's only 2 things that I would like to talk about. And Ryan almost tried to spoil my thunder, but I'm not taking it there. We're going to talk about, first, the pairing of Tully Blanchard with FTR. Manny, I turn to you. I think this was a good thing, and you're clapping, so I think you agree.
Yeah, there's the best pairing you can have for them two. I think it's a much better pairing than having Tully with Sean Spears. It just works. And even the promo he cut, the most hateful promo he cut last week about you're nothing unless you've got a championship belt, suits FTR. So, brilliant pairing.
Marcus, with you, FTR, I mean, Tully got that sweet-ass jacket. He's really official part of the team. I kind of like FTR, Sean Spears, and Tully, and they might need one more ace in their hole. I like where they're going with this. Do you like it?
So, I don't know about you guys. I didn't get the beginning of AEW Dynamite. Was there a formal introduction that they were coming out together? Or it was
just at ringside. The match just started.
Okay, so it started the way it started, I guess. I like the pairing. I think it's right. But I feel like when they went to Arn and did that contract side, it seemed like they were going to be with Arn. And then they killed the Rock and Roll Express, and now they're with Tully. I'm all for it. Tully can do their promo work, and it was all right. I'm okay with it.
And Ryan, I'm going to ask you a question, which I probably should have asked Marcus because I know he has a strong opinion about this, but you're his brother. You're my brother. Yeah. Private Party probably wrestled one of their more sensible matches, and a little aspect of this match was probably missed by a lot of people. This tag match actually had a tag rope involved in it. Did you like the little, I guess homage to the rules in an FTR match? And also, calming down Private Party.
Yeah, it's the only time where people follow the damn rules. It's the only time where they're structured in a tag match, which is really sad. Out of all the tag matches that happen, we get one real one. Like the Luchasaurus people, they do their flippy shit, and everyone's jumping all over the place. Referees counting people. He don't know who's legal. No one knows who's legal. I could have swore one tag match tonight ended with someone. They were like, me and Marcus questioned, is that person legal? This match just ended. I forgot which one that was, but that
was Omega.
That could be any AEW tag match. So yes, I really appreciate the structure. I really appreciate the rules. I really appreciate the respect for the craft. And also, I appreciate watching like guys like the Private Party who are normally seen doing flippy shit and all over the place where there's no rules to chaos, following the structure and showing that they can work doing that way. I like it a lot.
All right.
I think they should everybody should have an FDR match. Screw this chaotic bullshit.
And speaking of structure, this is where Ryan mentioned Eddie Kingston, and Eddie Kingston became involved in the match that really had no place, in my opinion. It was an unnecessary 8-man tag between the Jurassic Express, Butcher the Blade, and the Lucha Brothers, and then some dissension happens between the Lucha Brothers and the Butcher and the Blade, and that's where Eddie Kingston makes his return. He talks about their road stories and how they're supposed to be together as a family and come in for the group hug. Then he looks into the camera and winks. Marcus, is this the way that you want to see Eddie Kingston brought back into the fold of AEW?
Well, at least he was on TV. I feel like they just debut people as like, we got this guy, then they never show up again. Where's Matt Cardona? He showed up one time. He's back doing what he was doing already, hanging out and catering. He's in the same spot. It was nice seeing Eddie Kingston back. I thought that it was convoluted that the Butcher and the Blade and them broke up and all what was going on. And what really hurt this segment the most for me was SmackDown when Kalisto went crazy. Because that's what I got from this. Because Pentagon Jr. and Apex are basically the Lucha House Party of AEW right now because they're not showing on the main shows. They're showing on 205 Live and Dark. And then when they finally show up on the main show, they're there to break up. And that's what I got. And I was like, this is the exact same shit. And I don't know. It seems like Eddie Kingston's setting everybody up.
Like, the interesting thing for me was that one of the things he pointed out was like, you guys should be fighting for the tag team titles. You guys should be fighting for the tag team titles. Let's all be one unit. And I'm like, if they're both fighting for the tag team titles, they can't be one unit. Manny, what did you take away from this segment?
Eric, they're inventing a new tag title. The quad tag team titles.
We don't need that.
Tag team titles.
Quad.
Me and my quads, baby.
I just want to point out, it was just too many tag team matches on that. So
Eric,
it's most meaningless to you.
This segment is like, was Eddie Kingston trying to form another faction? I swear there's like 80,000 factions in AEW, and this is a problem for me. I'm just like all the names sound the same.
Of all the AEW things, that's the problem for you.
Well, it's one of the problems.
Okay.
It's like okay, there's way too many factions. Like Eddie Kingston come out here and say, you can do this, you can do that. Call the Butcher and the Blade, which was right. Hey Butcher, you're a killer. Why are you with the Blade? You shouldn't even be with the Blade.
But he rode up and down the streets with the Blade. He didn't say that. The Blade. The Blade's his boy. I know you from way back. We've been traveling up and down that road together. That's what he was saying.
Well, people, I think we've spent enough time on AEW, and I think.
Can I pause and say, the Elite versus the Dark Order is the worst match in the history of wrestling.
Okay.
They're fighting these no-name putties, and shit's going down. It's just little kids diving into daddy's arms. It's just nothing happening in this. And the fact that they're teasing this Kenny Omega heel turn and that they didn't let him kill one of the Dark Order members made me sick.
Well, the thing for me,
I don't even know what they're teasing.
What I really hated about this match was that, like, you had a very big moment for the Dark Order at the end of the show. I don't understand why we needed them to look weak right then and there. So, I digress. But now it's time to move on to what everyone has been waiting for. That is our SummerSlam preview. But before we get to the SummerSlam preview, we need to talk about a couple of notable things that took place on SmackDown. Ryan, I turn to you. Friday night had the debut of the Thunderdome.
Eric, I ain't watch SmackDown, man. You started the wrong guy.
All right.
I ain't watch it. I ain't get to it. I could have bullshit it, but I didn't get there.
Well,
man.
then please shut up so I can ask somebody that watched.
Hollywood Squares. It's like Hollywood Squares right now. And I could have picked that guy. Damn, you picked Whoopi Goldberg. She don't know shit about wrestling.
All right, so
man, I don't know shit about the Great Depression, man.
Manny, I turn to you then because Marcus Ryan won't shut up. The Thunderdome. How did you feel about the Thunderdome? The Thunderdome. My dear, my Thunderdome. Presented by Tyler Perry.
Thunderdome. It was interesting to see. It was a different thing. It was a different whole setup. I really enjoyed it. Like we're going back. It's almost like we're slightly going back to normal by having the real hard cam facing the ring. So it was almost like going back to what we were used to, not this old video game kind of layout of like how the ring was set up. And it wasn't. I found it was good. Like the entrances were great, and we've added pyro, but I felt it was a little bit distracting.
I missed the plexiglass, and that's for me. And it just.
I wouldn't have a problem with it. I don't think it'd be as distracting if they told everyone to have like a dark background behind them, because then you wouldn't notice it as much, because when you're looking at the screens, it's all different colors, backgrounds, and everything, which makes it more distracting.
Is the Thunderdome like the thing that they're doing at the bubble with the people on screen?
Yes.
And stuff?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Marcus,
yeah,
what about you? Your Thunderdome impressions?
So I like the Thunderdome. I liked it, but there are issues that I have with it, and mainly it's the people who are on the screen of the Thunderdome, and it's not like I think the idea of the Thunderdome is that they're gonna watch it as if they're in the arena and they're gonna clap, they're gonna holler, they're gonna stand up. But no, those people were just going like, I'm here in the Thunderdome, I'm just watching Raw. It was like watching somebody watch TV. And I know we do watch-alongs, but it was something similar to that. But they weren't responding, or they seemed to have no emotion involved. And the main thing I took away from the Thunderdome were the entrances for the wrestlers, and just the way it was shot and things like that. Like the beginning of SmackDown was the full flex of the Thunderdome. That's why you started with the Fiend entrance when you showed every light, every laser. I thought I was gonna have a goddamn seizure, but it was that, oh man, this is a WWE event production, and you got behind it with all the pyro from the wrestlers. So I'm a fan of it, and I think there can be improvements. Like you said, Eric, I missed the plexiglass, but I think there's a medium in which if they added the NXT guys or whoever in the plexiglass, as long with the Thunderdome people to add that inside the arena noise and whatever unauthentic or whatever monitor noise they have, I think there's a medium there. And I think it get better in time, to be honest.
Also, on
basically, the Thunderdome is like watching people look like they're waiting at the DMV all day in the audience.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, that doesn't seem appealing to me at all. I mean, that just seems like a waste.
But I think
you can see what it looks like.
The whole idea is, you're going to see it tonight when you watch SummerSlam. The whole idea is just to, I guess, to get the real human feel to it. I mean, for the NBA, I think it works because it's done in moderation. It's not the main focal point. In WWE, it's the main focal point. Like, that's all you see. So I don't know if it's distracting for the wrestlers or not, but only time will tell. Notable things that happened on SmackDown: Jeff defeated AJ Styles to become the new Intercontinental Champion.
I know. Can I pause you for a quick second? It's not a question. It's more the NBA does it better because they still have real people on the sideline. They actually have real players on the sideline and coaches and other players from other teams. And that's what difference. It's not just that screen.
Also, Naomi defeated Bayley to make Bayley face Asuka first. Of
all the bullshittery.
And as Marcus pointed out, Kalisto decided to have some dissension with the Lucha House Party, which means that they finally be coming to an end. But
they can duck Kalisto with that goatee, Eric. Alternate universe Kalisto. We don't know if Kalisto was kidnapped or not and changed by his alternate universe version because of that sick ass goatee.
But something that affected SummerSlam is that they took away my hair versus hair match, and now it's a loser leave.
Hey!
And I'm really upset by this.
They?
Yes, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Well, maybe
it wasn't they.
It wasn't
they. It was him. It was the stalker dude. He took it away. He ruined wrestling forever.
So now it's the loser leaves WWE between Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Matthew in the chat said he thinks Sonya will beat Mandy and will be forced to retire, but Otis will come down and try to stop it by cashing in the Money in the Bank and giving it to Sonya. Sonya will then cash in it tonight and win the SmackDown title. I don't know if that's how Money in the Bank works, but in WWE, everything...
You can do whatever you want with it.
I guess you can. I will say, as a man who had no hair, I was looking forward to seeing Mandy Rose lose her hair. And
what is this?
Well, because right then, okay, so no, it's not the hate. It's one of those things where Mandy Rose, she has improved with her promo ability. She has also improved with her in-ring work. And for me, if she was willing to shave her head, that tells me she is fully committed to the cause of professional wrestling and not just being eye candy. And that's what I like. Marcus, you have a frown on your face and you disagree with me.
Why would she do that to prove to you that she is committed to wrestling? I need to shave my hair and ruin my looks. No, I am upset with this storyline altogether. And it's because of that damn attempted kidnapping that ruined this storyline. I was looking forward to Sonya Deville, who wears the best suits in the game, better than anybody I've ever seen. Best dresser in the game, whose promo work was outstanding. Either last week, this week, and the week before that. Did now for never. This was Sonya's big chance. She was going to break out. I felt like she was going to be the one to break into that 4-horsewoman mode and become the next big female star. Instead, I believe she's going to have to take time off to get her head mentally right because she was almost fucking murdered. This is ridiculous. I hate that dude so much. And if I ever see him in the street, it is beat down on sight. And I'm fighting for keep.
Are you going to have sex with his mama too? That's what you going to do?
Wow.
Again, I have apologized to Stu Grayson's mom. Stu Grayson. I am sorry for my that's a home run over there.
Marcus, calm down. Manny would like to talk.
I feel like if you did this guy, I don't think anyone would care. If you did this guy's mom, I don't think anyone would care.
I don't even think his mom would care, but I'm not going to take it to that point because that would have to be something she's willing to do. Ryan,
I think the Velveteen Dream on his kid. That's too far.
So Marcus, are you picking Sonya Deville in this situation?
No, I can't. I know she needs. I feel like that. Like what Mandy said, man, we were both in that house together. I know she didn't say that in her roles. I know she didn't say that in general, but considering what happened this week, man, they don't need to be fighting.
Marcus, can I tell you something? I ain't never seen so much pain in your voice right there to say that Sonya wasn't winning. Manny, what about you? Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, who you got and why?
I think because of this guy, they've been booked into a situation, and I think you need to give Sonya some time off. And I think this is the way you're going to have to do it. And it's unfortunate because Sonya was on a really good run. But reluctantly, Mandy will win.
Let me tell you something right now, though, Manny. And this is, with all due respect to both you and Marcus' comment, this might be a blessing in disguise because you can have her lose, you can have her disappear, and then you can have her show up on either Raw or on NXT and finally get that push that we all feel Sonya Deville deserves.
Eric, it's loser leaves WWE. Not SmackDown, not Raw, not NXT. You leave the company.
They call it NXT. They don't call it WWE NXT. I'm just saying.
It's a draft. It's a third break.
Just like Cody's gonna challenge for that AEW championship one day again. They're not leaving WWE.
Wait, so Sonya's gonna get fired after being almost kidnapped? Damn.
Ryan, who do you have it?
Well, she'll turn up on Raw Underground. Because there's no rules. Even if you're suspended, there's no rules.
Let me tell you something. Sonya Deville and Raw Underground might be something that could be special. It might could actually make me care about Raw Underground because I really don't at this point.
Speaking of Raw Underground, I liked it this week. It's the only problem with Raw Underground that I have is Shane McMahon in there. Yeah. He is the worst. You don't need him in there.
Your sound effects might be the worst.
Your Shane McMahon sounds like an annoying barking dog walking down the street.
That's how he sounds. Yes. Okay, stop it.
But Ryan, my question for you was Mandy Rose or Sonya Deville?
Man, I don't want Sonya to lose.
So then pick her to win.
I can't pick her to win because that'd be stupid. She needs to go. She needs therapy. She needs help. She needs hugs. She can't be on TV.
She needs hugs.
Well, I don't know if she needs hugs right now. Maybe after that, you know, keep the distance. But I'll go with Mandy. Damn. Or maybe they'll cancel each other out. Kelly and Sagiri knock each other out.
They don't need to do this match.
And you know, you guys, I realize because we're going to move on to the next match soon, but before, you know, I am a person that admits when he's wrong. If you guys remember a couple of weeks ago, I believe it was on the same episode where Marcus wanted to do bad things to Stu Grayson's mother. I said something.
Apologize in between a home run, in between innings, all right?
I said
back up this podcast, so I wouldn't be on the show today.
I said something to the effect that I felt that Big E needed to be more serious, and unfortunately, he put me in my place when he said these words.
Not so talking to you.
And was I not serious? In the match with Sheamus, was I not serious?
And
you didn't see me turn up.
You were definitely serious.
When the time calls for it, I'm serious. But to come out here to be serious and to be someone I'm not, I'm going to sink or swim on my own merits. I'm going to be myself.
Talking to me.
People like it or they don't. I have to be. I want to bring something new and original to WWE. I want my path to be one where it's not like he didn't try to be John Cena light. He didn't try to be Roman Reigns light. He was himself from the beginning. Why would I change if people think I've been worthy of a WWE world title opportunity for all these years and I've been a goofball for all these years? Now why am I suddenly serious on this path to becoming a world champion or whatever the singles path is? Why does that make any sense at all? When the time comes, when I'm in the ring, I will deliver. That is my goal, to deliver, to give you my very best. But to be stoic for no reason, I did that. I was stoic. I came out here with no personality for years when people didn't care. I worked hard to little to no reaction. I've done that path. I've gone down that path. Now I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be free. I'm going to forge my own path. I'm not going to try to be like anyone else. I'm not going to follow any path. All that matters is when the bell rings, can I get it done? I think I get it done. Yes, sir.
I thought he was going to say, can I get an amen?
Yeah, you know what?
I thought he was going to say, can I get an amen?
So,
and he going to get an amen for me.
Let me
Most
tell you,
people don't get those for me.
That was great, but the thing that I did not record is when he decided to speak on behalf of Kofi Kingston, and which I felt led to more evidence of Miz being in charge of Retribution, because Big E brings up the fact that Kofi never got his rematch clause after he lost the title, and he never got his due. And then Miz responded with something to the effect, well, I never got my due. I just didn't sit in the back. I never got my retribution. I believe he said retribution at that point. And I was like, this could be the Miz going in for that. I think it's...
You think it's a fake?
I don't know. You know, Talking Smack, they do use it to further storylines surrounded. They actually do what professional wrestling should do very well on that show, where you blur the lines between real and make-believe. It's like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. With that being said, because you know...
That shit was real.
First of all, The Miz was late to the ring because he was making sandwich with Eric.
Damn right he was.
He has bagels and lot.
So,
yeah. Whatever.
Speaking of making sandwiches, I'm staying in the sandwich matches right now. The next match is for the United States Championship. It's Apollo Crews going against MVP. Ryan, who do you have in this match?
Black on black crime. I think I'm gonna go with Apollo in this one. I just don't see why MVP would win. There's just no logical reason for why. Unless Cedric gets involved and screws him. But other than that, I don't see that. I don't see that happening. That's too soon. It's a little bit too soon. I see Apollo just winning in 7 minutes.
Well, the seeds on Monday Night Raw was placed that Cedric is, dissenting when Apollo when Apollo did not pick him to go out there and fight, and also when Cedric obtained the 24/7 championship. Marcus, as Ryan called this match, black on black crime, who will be your new United States champion at the end of the night?
Black on black crime is fiction. That is 100% fiction. Just to stay woke, brother. He say this. Apollo Crews is winning this match. Apollo can't lose.
All right.
He's doing the best work of his career in his promo, mic skills. He's thriving as U.S. champion. Don't take a title off another black man for me.
Manny, I turn to you because Matthew in the Lumber Chat says that Cedric will interfere and get MVP the title. Do you think that is a possible thing to take place?
I don't think so, because the man that will win will be Apollo!
Dun, 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 dun.
So,
that's his old music.
If I'm right, Ryan picked Apollo, Marcus picked Apollo, Manny picked Apollo, right? I think.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going with MVP just because I think you can't have the Hurt Business without some type of goal being in the Hurt Business. I think I agree with Matt in this situation. I feel like the seeds have been planted for Cedric to get involved somehow, some way to cost Apollo this match. And, you know, what can we say? I mean, I hope Cedric can step up and become a more prominent role on the WWE roster.
Too soon? You don't think it's too soon? Like, the seed was planted. Like, the seed just can't become a tree in 3 days. Or 5 days.
No, they've been planted for a while.
Yeah, it's been dissension for a while because you haven't been watching Raw, but it was like 2 months ago where MVP walked up to Cedric. Hey, you get that email I sent you with all that? He gave him some pamphlets, man. And then Apollo was upset because he didn't get the and Ricochet was upset too. So, moving on at a match that I am very torn between. It's the Street Profits versus Andrade and Garza. Manny, who do you want to see? Because I know you're a fan of Montez. Do you want to see this be the downfall of the Street Profits and lead to Montez going to his solo route? Or do you see the Street Profits retaining?
I want to say the Street Profits retaining, but there's just too much on the other two right now. But I feel like they'll implode as well, so I'll go with the Street Profits.
Street Profits imploding.
No, Manny, you're right. I feel like one of these teams are going to implode tonight. I think more people would like to see Montez go his separate way, but I kind of feel like this is the end for Garza and Andrade. Marcus, are you picking the Street Profits to retain their title?
I am, and I think they're gonna break up tonight. Garza and Andrade is done. I think it's the end. And, you know, but I would prefer to see the Street Profits break up and see the Montez Bianca run. Just still, Jay-Z and Beyonce and wrestling right there.
All right. Ryan, what about you? Profits or Garza and Andrade?
I'm going to go with the Profits just because Montez showed up on Raw. He was extra nappy. He ain't got his hair cut. He looked like he just recovered from getting drugs. He mad. They coming in. They going to win. They're going to break up Andrade and the dudes. That's over.
Wesley, I'm not trying to break up the Profits, but I think most people realize where the money's at in the Profits, and that's with Montez Ford. And him and Bianca as a tandem is probably more profitable in the long run than him and Dawkins. Nothing against Dawkins. Dawkins has gotten a lot better, but at the end,
he's a nice guy.
At the end of the day, I think you can make more money with Montez. Speaking of making money, go ahead, man.
So who you got?
Who do I have? I have the Profits retaining with Andrade and Garza imploding. I could just see that happening. Moving on to possibly could be the match of the night with a lot of spectacle and smoke and mirrors. That is going to be Seth Rollins going against Dominic Mysterio. Ooh. Ryan, Dominic paid the ultimate price to get on this SummerSlam card by being Kane. Kane.
The ultimate price is their life, right?
The ultimate price.
He got wounds that won't heal. And
like what limb did he lose?
And then on Raw this week, him and Ray got revenge on the Seth Rollins. Who do you see becoming victorious in this match?
Tough one, man, because this feud's been going on. This has been long, and there's been no payoff for the Mysterios at all. So, I think gotta give it to Dominic. I think Dominic's gonna come out with his head shaved in MMA gear, and then he's just gonna swarm all over Seth Rollins.
That's not Cascade Velasquez. Wow. You know it.
Don't bring up our mistake that we made. Marcus, what about you in this situation? Are you taking Dominic to defeat Seth Rollins?
Well, as my light-skinned brother would like to talk about, the Mysterios never win. They never win, and it's a low time coming. But the one thing you guys are failing to remember is that Dominic may go by last name Mysterio, but in his heart of hearts, his Guerrero blood run through those veins, and the Guerrero blood will defeat the Messiah tonight. And then he turns on his daddy, on Raw the next night.
I have a question. Who do you think, or do you think that Dominic will be more impressive than Pat McAfee?
First of all, Ryan, I asked all the questions here. And Manny, I was going to ask you that question when you pick your picks. Do you think Dominic will have a better showing than McAfee did at NXT?
McAfee. Yeah, I think Dominic's been around wrestling for a lot longer than Pat McAfee, and I think it will show. Like, he's definitely had ring experience, so it will show, and he's in the ring with Seth Rollins. So, but I've got Dominic as well. There's talk internet chatter that he's going to come out either after this match or before or during this match as Prince Mysterio, but we don't know that yet.
Interesting. But I kind of want to feel like somehow, some way Seth is going to win, and I feel like he's going to win based on a disqualification because Aleister Black is going to make his return. Because I feel like it's been enough time for his eye to heal. He's been posting cryptic things on Instagram. I think he has to get...
Hey, I have a question.
You always have questions.
I have a question. Pregunta. Will Dominic be wearing a mask or will he be maskless?
Well, if Manny says the rumors of him coming out as Prince Mysterio, I'm assuming he's going to wear a mask. I think it would be kind of nice, but at the same time...
I want to argue with you. Aleister Black cannot come back in this match, and I want him away from the Mysterio family. Okay, I want him away from the Mysterio family. He is bigger than this, goddammit.
Marcus,
he's not a baby anymore, Jody.
Let me ask a question then for you, Marcus, because Matthew in the Lumber Chat said that he think it would be great if Dominic came out in the lowrider to pay homage to his Guerrero blood.
Oh.
Yes,
I'm down for that. Yes,
100%.
Yes. But if you watch WWE Untold, the Sasha Bailey one, which is really emotional, because Sasha cries through the entire fucking interview. But how when she starts talking about Eddie Guerrero, it's like, oh man, you need to stop talking. She's crying all up, running her makeup. I'm like, what is this shit?
Well, since you brought them up, Marcus, we have the tandem match. We have Bailey versus Asuka, and then Sasha versus Asuka. Marcus, pick both matches for me.
One, again, the golden role models might be my favorite thing in wrestling. Them breaking up is hilarious, but I still don't want them to break up, but I still want the match. It's very convoluted. And on SmackDown this week, that Bailey lost and Sasha won, and that look on Sasha's face when Bailey lost, of bitch, was the best and evil look. And then Bailey running away and then leaving Sasha on the ground to get her ass whooped. It was great. And I don't know who's going to win in either way, but it can go either way, and I'll be happy as long as it leads to this breakup and we finally get this damn match.
I've been winning this match for a long time. So I was reading how many emails I had through. So did you pick Bailey and both Sasha to win, or who
No, I'm going to pick Bailey to retain.
Okay.
And Sasha to lose, because Sasha always loses.
Manny, I turn to you. Bailey and Asuka, Sasha, Asuka. Pick the matches.
I had exactly the same combination. Bailey winning, and then Asuka winning, with Bailey obviously in a position where she could help Sasha, but chooses not to.
Ryan, what about you?
I got Asuka running the table. I got her getting both go.
Wow.
Both go.
Okay.
All right, both go. Keep leaning it. She's
So-
doing it. She getting both go.
And she expressed she's Asuka every belt, or something like that.
she
The
get all
empress
the
of
belts in
every
this
belt.
For me, I have Bailey losing. I have Sasha retaining, but I also have Asuka and Sasha walking away with the biggest crown of the night, of match of the night. I'm dubbing this my match of the night. I think Sasha and Asuka are going to tear the house down, and I look forward to this match.
Are you
And
going to make a sandwich during it?
no,
Yep,
because
I can imagine that.
well, because I'm gonna have the Wingstop chicken cutlets that I can put into the Hawaiian bread. Yeah, so technically I will be making a sandwich. You guys are just jealous because you guys didn't have a sandwich. I understand what it is.
I made me a sandwich, right? I ate salami on the air.
But you didn't enjoy your
salami on the air.
you didn't enjoy your sandwich like I enjoyed my sandwich. Because Marcus,
I
you don't like wheat bread, and I know you don't like wheat bread.
Eric, like how long was the show? show you're watching.
It's my bread. It's my bread, homie.
It was like 2 hours longer. It was like 2 hours.
What?
2 hours, man. Like,
Yeah.
Come on. At some point, you gotta get something to eat.
I was hungry. I jumped on at the last second. I didn't have breakfast.
In the last minute, freaking havoc, saying, "Oh, I'm happy to do. I'm gonna join the show."
And then on top of that, if you saw one Keith Lee match, you saw another. So I didn't miss anything by going to make my sandwich, and I was full. Anyway,
I have a question.
Okay.
How many of those do you have?
I have a question.
Do you just have a list of papers?
This ain't school.
Just a question. What's Matt Riddle doing?
He's not on the show. He's not on SummerSlam.
He's feuding with King Corbin, and King Corbin has a bounty on him.
That's still going on.
You damn right it is.
It's only been 3 weeks.
No one answered that bounty.
So now we get into the championship rounds. We have Braun Strowman going against The Fiend.
Stop.
Wow, Ryan, you have a strong reaction. Lord Manny, in this situation, does The Fiend get his title back with the help of Alexa, or does Braun keep his title and the return of the big dog?
I want The Fiend to win. I'm tired of this Braun run. Like, really tired of it. It needs to end.
Nice. Can I
Go ahead, Marcus.
So, all right, so here we are. I'm going to give the whole Braun story Universal title run. I didn't care when he beat Goldberg. I didn't care months after that when he was fighting. I don't even think he had a match in his feud with The Fiend. It didn't matter until Alexa got involved, and now I'm compelled in the story. Okay, I'm compelled. It's going to be I don't think it's going to be a great match. I don't even think it's going to be good. But I am invested into the story, and I hate when wrestling does this to me, when I actually want to see where's The Fiend, Alexa, and Braun going to go next. And I have The Fiend winning with the help of Sister Abigail, Alexa Bliss.
Okay. And what about you, Ryan?
Eric, I have a question.
Fuck your question.
Is that your new shirt? I have a question.
Is this a real match or is this a skit? Is this a real match?
No, right. They bought they rented out the Amway Arena. We're not getting any more cinematic matches. This is a real match.
It's no holds barred though. Falls count anywhere.
No.
Falls count anywhere.
The Fiend's out of shape and Braun is boring. This is gonna be a trash match. I would go for The Fiend just based on the fact that I really don't care about Braun. I haven't cared for him in about 2 years now. It's over. Ever since Brock Lesnar scooted his ass, it's over. I'll just go.
Goldberg beat his ass.
Yeah, I'm not into this. Get to The Fiend. Let it be 6 minutes.
I feel like I think The Fiend is going to win. I think he's going to win with the assistance of Alexa, because the one thing I've learned in life, you can never tell a woman you don't give a fuck about them, and that's pretty much what Braun did. He made a mistake. There's nothing worse than a woman scorned, and I hope he pays the ultimate price and loses his title.
He's gonna blow up his car.
That he did not deserve.
You get your car keyed. You get your car keyed, son. Don't say that.
Now, I guess it's time for arguably what I think the main event of the night.
Who did you pick?
I picked The Fiend. Because, a woman scorned has to get her revenge. So with that being said, now it's time for the ultimate match, and it's can the Legend Killer reclaim his rightful throne and become the new WWE Championship? I vote yes. I am supporting Randy Orton. I'm picking first. I'm going there. Everybody know I've been Team Orton since day one. So, St. Louis' own Randy Orton.
You're not from St. Louis.
I said St. Louis own as to Randy Orton, not to me.
How much Randy Orton ass you've been up? You are not from St. Louis.
I don't care how many Nelly CDs you own. You are not from St. Louis.
I don't care how many Marshall Falk jerseys you got. You are not from St. Louis.
But you're the fake Rams fan, not me. I'm just saying. Anyway, who you got? Who you got? Randy or Drew McIntyre?
I'm picking up Randy Orton. He's too hot right now for them not to give him the title. Too hot. And that iron sharpening iron, it didn't go well for Keith Lee, and I don't think it went well for Drew McIntyre. Y'all sharpen too much. Sharpen too much.
Ryan, what about yourself? Who do you got?
This is regular singles, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's tough.
Wrestling match.
I mean, remember, this is the post-no-sell Shawn Michaels, which really almost broke the internet, that Shawn Michaels was able to get to the corner after the punt.
He got up like he fell out of a chair. Like, Sean, you okay? You okay? Yeah. Ooh, just my hip a little bit. Oh man, damn. Where my keys at? Hey, where my keys? No, you didn't have no keys. What? Whoa. Shit, like, I want Randy to win, but Drew is a good champion. I can see a no finish happening here. I don't know why. I can just see this not having a finish.
Don't worry.
Like,
we'll address that in a second. Manny, your pick, Randy or Drew?
I'm going to go Drew.
Okay.
I have no reason other than the way Raw ended just doesn't seem like the way a champion, the way... I'm confused.
His brain broke. It broke him. He's like, I've been drinking, guys. It's over.
I have been drinking today. That's not the point.
With that being said, you know, we've been promised a lot of things happening at tonight at SummerSlam, which got me really excited. My question for you is: this
been promised?
Wait, so is Ryan? Is your choice no finish for this?
I picked no finish. I think. Mainly because I don't see a spot where Retribution can impact in all these matches. Like, if they were going to impact the match, it would be this one.
Yeah, because that's the point I was going to make up. Where does Retribution play a role into this? Because on SmackDown, they became a very deep faction, and which I thought was a very smart play on WWE's side, because now you can say that Retribution was sending in goons to do their dirty work, and then when the real Retribution shows up, it's like, oh, this is who they were all the time. I like that little aspect of having all those
David
fake ninjas.
Nothing to play.
I will point out, Marcus.
Never see it coming.
Marcus,
never see it coming. That's what the tagline was. It's David Otunga.
If it was David Otunga, Marcus, I would point out that I would not be able to say negative things about AEW for a whole 3 episodes.
If you told me it was Wade Barrett back again with some goons, I would be very happy.
If Wade Barrett was just one of the members of Retribution, I think a lot of people would be happy. But Ryan, would you be happy to see the Ryback coming back?
Yes, I don't hate the Ryback as much people hated him. I didn't think he was that terrible. Well, like at the end, I didn't think he was that bad. But in the beginning, yeah, he was generic. But at the end, he was kind of turning the corner when he fought Kalisto in the chair match and doing all that stuff. Like he was kind of serviceable.
God damn it!
Now that you have
Kristaps was not playing tonight. Shit.
On a scale of Ryback and CM Punk, how do you think if there is a Retribution return, how do you think it's going to be taken by the very toxic WWE fan base?
Oh, they wouldn't. I don't think they have a problem. What, with Ryback? I don't think they have a problem.
No, I just mean on a scale. Like, how angry you think wrestling fans are going to be?
Why is Ryback the 0? Like,
I'll go with Otunga then.
Why Otunga got beat? He's done good work for WWE behind the scenes, man.
No one gives a shit about.
Put Michael Tyler at the 0.
You know what? Wes said Darren Young. Let's go with Darren Young as being the 0. Like, because I don't think anybody cared about Darren Young.
Yeah, oh man.
I mean, Mr. No Days Off that we always want him to take off. That's like that guy at your job. Man, we really wish you would take off work because we get less work done when you're here.
Those are my favorite people to work with. To be honest, when you get less work done, because that means you're having a good time with them and y'all ain't really working.
Rolling.
Those are my favorite people to work with.
I guess to close out our SummerSlam preview, Manny, do you think SummerSlam is going to exceed what NXT Takeover did, or do you think it's going to be a mediocre show?
It's not going to be mediocre, but it won't be able to follow what NXT Takeover has done, which we have all seen in the past. But before we move on, we've got a little thing to talk about the DSPN Pick'em Championship.
Oh. Okay.
Where's
Lord, excuse me, you cannot be the commissioner without the shades. Please put the shades back on. Thank you. There we go.
The commissioner.
So, just an update. So if we go by just matches that they differed on, Wes is currently losing 4-0.
Oh my goodness.
And if El Luchador wins one match tonight, he has won the DSPN title. However, I have taken note of all your picks just now. You will all be competing to challenge the champion at Payback, except Ryan.
What?
Because you have to put up the Twitter. If you lose,
we want Twitter back.
We want the Twitter back.
I'd rather die than give you guys the damn Twitter back. It is mine forever, then, now, and forever.
And that being said, the challenge match will be Asuka versus Sasha.
That's the one?
That's the one. Sasha losing, man. Sasha got to go.
That's the one that seems that matters most, especially to you, Eric, because you love using Sasha.
I do. She's right. It's like Randy Sasha right there.
Sound like you were making a sandwich.
Randy Sasha.
Let me get that Randy Sasha. Yeah, let me get that Randy and Sasha sandwich. That's how it works.
Got me to meet that Randy Sasha sandwich, just let it happen.
So the commissioner, we thank you for taking the time out to tally up and find out who the next rightful challenger is. Well, we already know that I'm still the champion, but that's beside the point. Lord Manny,
they're losing the heavyweight title this weekend. I don't think I can take it.
Pre-show match?
I don't
think so. I don't ever heard him say shit about that.
So Manny, SummerSlam better than Takeover or not? And what do you think is going to be the standout match of the night?
It's not even going to be close, but the standout matches tonight could be the women's matches: Bailey and Asuka, and then Sasha and Asuka. They're going to be the standouts.
All right, Marcus. What about you? Does Takeover and SummerSlam compete?
I think the main event is going to be good unless there's some retribution, tomfoolery, and fuckery. But Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre should be the best match of the night.
What about you, Ryan?
I'm excited for that one.
No, I think we're all together, almost all together. I think the women. I'm looking for Asuka getting the belt, going for being Asuka 2 belts. I gotta go for it. I'm invested.
By the way, it's the Empress of everything. Is what she's going by. She said.
I just want to point out.
Much to say.
I'm going to go on a limb today and say this, and I think I should get a bonus point if it happens. I think we're going to get a brief return from Kairi Sane. I just felt that when I saw SmackDown
and in Japan last week,
and I saw Asuka wearing the Kairi Sane shirt. I was like, you know what? I just think they've been bringing her up, and it would be really nice to see her show up. And because Kairi.
There's no bonus points in this.
Well, I'll tell you what, the bonus point should be. I'm calling it right now. Roman Reigns comes back tonight.
Well, Mark, there's a report going around that some Roman Reigns merchandise has been made, and he's set to return. With that being said, it's now.
What if Roman Reigns is
leaving?
For no reason.
Let me put my glasses on because it's now time for me to read email. So hold on one second.
It's boomer time.
Boomer.
And now Eric with the news. The first email that we have today is from Chris. He says, he says, "What up, nation? Nation of domination, or should I say, Sharpies? Ages ago, there was a wrestling website dedicated to terrible gimmicks or angles called Wrestle Crap. With the climate of today's wrestling and its many horrible Wrestle Crap angles, I figured why not ask what are some of your all-time favorite crap angles or gimmicks? So Ryan, what is one of your favorite all-time crap angles or gimmick?"
What do you mean by crap angle or gimmick?
A gimmick or an angle that was just really shitty.
Oh, the Librarians. I just think that was so bad. And
on AEW right now.
From the get-go.
It's not even from the past.
People were just like, no. People were just like, no on the Librarians for like day one. There was never this could be good. It was just a straight no. It has been a while since I've seen a straight no from everybody. I can't recall.
What about you, Manny? What about you?
Duke the Dumpster Drosy. The garbage man.
He's the garbage man. He was
literally trash.
And Marcus, what about yourself?
I'm going to go back because we watched Royal Rumble 98 in one of our watch-alongs. So go check out our archives and check out some of our past watch-alongs. But the oddities, there is nothing there. That is the worst shit I've ever seen in my life. It is Earthquake in his final days, really wasting himself. You have Kurgan, who's now a Hollywood actor. Luna Vachon could have been used so much better as being the scariest woman in the history of wrestling. I still get nightmares of Luna Vachon.
May she rest in peace.
Yeah. That is the worst. And then you have the Insane Clown Posse associated with it. So anything involving the Insane Clown Posse is the worst thing ever.
But to be considered a crappy angle or gimmick, would they not have to be not over? The oddities were over. People like
they weren't.
No, because I think it's all personal preference. For me, I'm gonna go with one that people might remember and one that people might not remember. The only reason why this one, first is Nails. Nails is in my head because I saw his match between him and Virgil. That was just a bad thing. And then the one that when I read the question, the first thing that popped into my head was Atom Bomb. I didn't get it. Never liked it. Like a dude coming out in all them colors being a nuclear bomb was not the person I needed. And I think he was probably the same. He was probably Duke the Dumpster Strozzi and Atom Bomb was the same person.
In my head, I was going between the two.
Yeah.
But I have a special mention.
His name is Atom Bomb. I love the Mountie.
That was one of the best entrances musics ever.
The Mountie.
I love the Mountie. I'm the Mountie.
So going back to Chris's email, he says he's gonna list his top 3. He says,
they still out there.
He said the New Breed. No, not the ones you were thinking of. I'm referring to the team of Chris Champion and Sean Royal, a WCW team from the late 80s who claimed that they were sent back in time from the year 2002. They had some unique double team moves for the time period.
After 9/11.
Had Road Warriors type haircuts and came down to fight for your right by the Beastie Boys. And oh yeah, the year 2002, Dusty Rhodes was president. Oh, if only New Breed, if only. Unfortunately, the team's potential success was cut short because of a car accident. The Undertaker. Yeah, easy choice. I don't care. A dead man, much ado, like Jason Voorhees, who's impervious to pain, could walk the top rope after he beat some jobber, he put him in a body bag. And oh, the eerie theme song was great. Mortis. Yes, it's a Mortal Kombat knockoff. Yes, he feuded with Glacier for God knows how long. Yes, it was campy.
Who's better than Kenyon?
Didn't bother me in the slightest.
Mortis didn't say that though.
Mortis was just so fluid in the ring. The other innovator of moves, also see Nova. Wish he would have been pushed as an upper mid-carder, but that was impossible with being in WCW at the time. Anyway, it's been fun, Sharpshooters. Until whatever, Chris is awesome. Well, I mean,
Eric, I got another bad gimmick and bad angle. Rikishi and TNA for 3 weeks. Bad all around.
Just the worst.
Him trying to steal the Rock's gimmick and do all that stuff. He was literally there for 3 weeks. That was the worst thing I've ever seen.
I don't remember that. And I agree with El Luchador. Let me tell you, I agree with El Luchador when he said in the chat room, Glacier was one of the biggest disappointments in WCW history.
What about 7? What about 7?
What about when Sting had the tag team partner of RoboCop?
Well,
don't forget the Yet.
Hey,
by the time they let you do the Butcher.
Hey, at least RoboCop made it to the ring. When Shawn Michaels teamed up with God didn't even show up.
Hey, Eric, me and Martin were talking about this guy like 2 weeks ago. What about Shane Sewell, the referee from TNA, trying to be a wrestler?
I don't remember him.
You don't remember that? You don't remember that?
Dark times.
That was dark.
So, El Luchador, I know you're bringing up the Godwins, but for whatever reason, I like the Godwins. I don't know why. All right.
Run in the Ministry of Darkness. So.
Our next email comes from Tony. What's going on, Sharp Nation? 2020 has been a hell of a year. So many negatives. The virus, Kane canceling flights, those killer bees that didn't seem to last long. I thought they were murder hornets.
They're murder hornets.
Now fire tornadoes.
Unless
Fire
the Killer
tornadoes.
Bees made a comeback.
Let me tell you.
Unless the Killer Bees made a comeback and didn't last long.
Hey, fire tornadoes might be my favorite thing. Never heard of fire tornadoes till this year when it took place down here in California. Like, it's the craziest thing ever. A tornado full of fire. If I was a wrestler, my bad gimmick would be fire tornado.
It sounds like the perfect name for a minor league team.
Yes.
Fire tornadoes. The Phoenix Fire Tornadoes. Get them on.
That's the next WNBA team.
Will we ever get back to a world of normalcy? Seems like a world far, far away. I got a bit of wrestling challenge for everyone. Say something positive about a wrestler that you don't like and say something negative about one of your favorites. Orton is one of my all-time favorites, but why is the Legend Killer gimmick still going? Didn't he already do this with everyone ages ago? Also, while he's motivated, he's a top-notch, but when he gets lazy and lethargic at times, stop Rando. Something nice about someone I don't like. That's tough. Shane McMahon, while not a trained pro wrestler as far as I know, feel free to correct me, he has a handful of exciting matches with guys like Kurt Angle, Steve Blackman, and Kane. And he's damn fearless with some of those dives he's taken. He's also had one hell of a shoe collection. Are there any upcoming video games that you're looking forward to playing? My short list is The Avengers, Watch Dogs 3, and possibly a new Batman game. Stay sharp, y'all. So, Ryan, give me something positive about a wrestler you don't like.
Well, Natty dresses well when she's not wrestling.
Okay. Give me something negative about a person that you like.
Something negative about a person that I like. Well, Punisher Martinez needs to shave his damn head. That hair, I'm with him 100%. Just that hair gotta go, man. Just let that thing go.
Manny, something negative about somebody that you like?
Cameron exists.
Wow.
No, that's something positive about her. That she still exists.
Okay.
She's not dead.
Wow. Wow.
She's alive. She hasn't got up the cocoa yet. She's alive.
Give me something negative about somebody that you like.
I don't have anything right now.
Well,
Did
they keep Cameron? Did they keep Cameron? Was that a one-off?
No, that was a one-off. All right.
Thank God.
So, something negative about a wrestler that I like. Oh, Chris Benoit should have never murdered his family. That's one. That's one.
Wait! You still like Benoit after all of that?
No, I don't. But
Man,
all right.
You can't like Benoit after that.
Let me go back. So, I got one. Thank you, Luchador.
Oh man, you can't pick Benoit.
Baron Corbin has some of the worst wrestling attire out there. That's somebody I like. That's negative. We hear you, Marcus. And then Brandy has the #1 selling action figure from AEW. There we go. Marcus.
That's creepy.
Now, Marcus, give me something. I'm
not ready to answer this question yet because I'm waiting for this person to drop off these fries that I was supposed to bring to your house. But, because I thought the show would be over by 1, but we weren't. I'll give my answer when I come back.
I'll get the fries.
Yeah, Marcus can get the fries because we only got one more email. We will be over.
All right, they're supposed to be outside. All right, so
a negative thing.
They're outside, Ryan.
Marcus, a negative thing about a wrestler that you like.
A negative thing? Oh, let's go with Samoa Joe. He's just too fat.
Wow.
He's too fat. He let himself go. And I thought he was a more dangerous submission machine in his younger days.
All right, and give me a positive thing about a wrestler you don't like.
Postmates? Yeah. What? Say it again.
A positive thing about a wrestler that you don't like.
A positive thing about a wrestler, I love all the wrestlers equally, man. But all right, I'm gonna say Rene Dupree when he fought Chris Benoit back in 2000 and something, and he was
echo coming from.
It's picking up Ryan's microphone. There you go.
Back in 2000 and something when he fought Chris Benoit, I was rooting for him, and he was a good catalyst for me to root for while that little kid was arguing in behalf of Chris Benoit.
And that little kid was not me, by the way. That was actually a legit little kid in the audience who Marcus takes pride to this day about crushing that kid's dream.
Okay, how about this one? Let's go with Eugene, Nick Dismore. I felt like he did good work. Did
you hate Eugene?
But he should have stopped being Eugene. I don't know if I hated him. I don't know. It's really hard for me to think of wrestlers I absolutely hated. Cameron Grimes is actually okay in the ring.
All right. Wes says, something bad about a wrestler I like. Macho Man should have never messed with Stephanie McMahon. Wes, those are just allegations. We don't know if that's true or not. We just do not know.
Well, people online are accusing Velveteen of the exact same thing. So. And
Marcus, I'm also not condemning Velveteen. All right. Our last email is going to come from I'm willing to stay up and say this, the new DSPN champion, John El Luchador. I don't see Wes running the table. And honestly, when I saw Wes picks, and Wes, I'm calling you out. When you picked Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch and made that your match that was worth points, you deserve to lose the title. Your promo was fire.
Just like me and Sheamus in that bar fight. What the fuck was I thinking?
I don't know, Marcus.
Like a grown-ass man, he does not lose.
I am a grown-ass man. I do not listen. If you have not seen that 5-minute DSPN title package video thing that we have on our YouTube page, go see it. It's the best thing this company has ever produced.
And honestly, let me tell you something. If you haven't seen it, please send people to see it because it drives Marcus crazy that it's the most viewed video on our network and he's not in it. Please drive his ego out of control because it really makes him go crazy.
It's not. Can I just point out? I would have preferred Marcus to do my bit in it, to be honest, because talking to a camera by myself without you guys there is just completely weird.
So you really wonder how vloggers do it?
No, because I had to do about 4 takes just to do the hello, I am your commissioner. That took forever. And then I was like, why am I trying to be professional? None of my personality came out. I'm just this suit talking like this.
Well, you froze up in front of the camera.
Yeah, we would have never known that you did that many takes. Even though there were a lot of cuts, we would have never known if you tell us, because it looked natural. Oh, yeah, it looked like it was done in one take.
There were so many pauses in that. I was like, oh, we can trim this up.
All right, so our last email, like I said, comes from El Luchador. First, I want to give an apology to Pat McAfee, who defied all expectations. I had him both on the mic and in the ring. Next, I want to say that AEW did some good storytelling yesterday, and I thoroughly enjoyed the MJF Moxley promo, as well as Eddie Kingston forming my new favorite group in wrestling. Next, I want to say how much I enjoyed Ricky Stark's segment, although it really made Brian Cage seem like Ricky's sidekick. And lastly, Cody getting squashed was an amazing surprise and the first time ever the Dark Order came off as a legit badasses. Great job on the gentleman's discussion, and I look forward to seeing where you and the Dizman take that show. Till next time, I'm trying, and I'll stay sharper than Wes suit game, but I doubt I will. El Luchador, peace.
Wes' suit game was crisp.
I would point out, considering that as a heat wave sweeping the country, Wes putting the suit on with the strap, cutting the promo, I appreciate everything that he did for that. I just wish he could have held his title longer than Keith Lee in this situation, but it appears that he's not doing that either.
Well, he's the longest reigning DSPN champion.
That's
because you took away the weekly.
I did.
Yep. But the next title shot is at Payback when I get my title back, I think.
We'll see. Well,
that PNG is mine. That 10 pounds of PNG is mine.
Well, I will point out that my goal of trying to get the show under 2 hours, I failed by 8 minutes, but I will give myself a 10-minute plus a negative because Ryan is on the show and he's uncontrollable, so you never know what he can do. So I think I did very good for this week.
Is he still on video? I don't even see him anymore.
He is.
He's probably still got a question, too.
So, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
No, you want to ask the question. Ask a question.
He's trying to respect you now.
Ask a question. You ask your question?
Are you going to ask your question, Marcus?
Wait. You ask your question?
Why are you calling him Marcus?
I mean, Ryan, are you gonna ask your question?
How dare you?
Ryan is who wants to ask the question. He can ask the question.
All right, I'm gonna ask the question, and I've been wondering this, all day. I woke up today wondering what the answer to this question would be, and I went, I showered, and it still was in my mind. And my question is this: can you kick my ass? And that's the question I had to ask you.
Jesus.
Why
are you stealing my question?
That's what we waited for.
That's what
why are you thinking about your brother in the shower?
Yeah, why are you thinking about me?
Think about a lot of things in the shower.
Why you washing your hair?
So something I would like, what I would like people to think about is supporting our show by visiting storefrontier.com /DSPN. I know the website is kind of crude, but I just typed that up right now just so you can have a place to see what the website is and go there and help support the show. We really appreciate everything. Also, if you've been a long time watcher of this show, we really would like you to
listener.
You can email us by sending us an email at thesharpshooters@gmail.com. That's DA sharpshooters@gmail.com. At that point, we will respond to it. Also, leave comments on the video because I know Manny, possibly Marcus, and even maybe Ryan might jump up in there and leave some comments here and there. And also, the most important thing to do to help us get more traction and build this community that's been a great community for the last 15 years, please smash that like button. So click and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to be notified when we go live, tick that bell because it's the best way to stay in contact with us. With that being said, I am Eric.
I ain't shit.
I'm Lord Manny Hayes.
And I'm Lord Marcus Ho Ho. We're gonna fuck it up. We're gonna fuck it up hard. The grand finale. And for Shotzi Blackheart, you guys have a good night.
And Ryan, thank you for joining us. It's always a surprise when you show up on the stream. I will see you in about 45 minutes when you guys make it to my house. And until next week, everybody out there, stay safe and stay sharp. Later.
Peace.
#bless.